If I was to say, how many days do you think it would take to replace every door inside your house with a solid wood door, the hinges, the handles, fully finished cabinet-grade paint?
For mere mortals, I'm taking weeks, months, years. But for one-day doors and closets, I'm going to go with 1 day.
1 day.
Right now, they got a special for you, Josiah does, where you can buy one door, get two. See how far he'll take that. Buy three. See if you can get six. OneDayTexas.com/promo30. Very, very cool idea to upgrade the look and feel of your house. It's not like, you're not doing a full remodel, but it might feel like it. You're just changing out those doors and closets. They come out. They measure them on site. It's saving you money compared to big box stores, and they're going to be right because they were measured with a third dimension, 3D measuring technology. It's 1 day doors and closets. Again, hit up Josiah at this website, OneDayTexas.com/promo30.
And hello, friends. We are broadcasting live to tape today from the Game Day Men's Health Studio in downtown Dallas, gameday.dumbzone.com. We are powered by Game Day Men's Health. I am Dan McDowell.
I'm Jake Kemp.
I'm Blake Jones.
We have Foodie CK here as well. That is Clayton. It's the Fox 4 building. So that means all the Fox 4 stuff is in here, like, Paige Ellenberger. Saw her in the hall.
Co-host of the 10?
She at least played recognition.
She doesn't know who you are.
No
She knows exactly who I am.
No chance.
She feels my riz. But the security guard...
Now they know.
I don't know if he knows who I am, but he did greet me with a "Hey, boss."
Yeah. You know what he gave me
Which,
the other day?
made me feel so small.
No.
Like, okay, yeah, all right.
Accept a boss. It'll feel good.
It was better than Big Dog at the gym, because that's like insinuate. Okay, old man,
Need a little help over there?
little guy, fatty,
Maybe try these rubber weights
chubby.
instead. No, the other day I was wearing my the little brace they gave me for my my wrist. Broke my wrist, had a little surgery, and he gave me what I think is a Mount Rushmore dad joke. I was walking in, he saw the wrist and said, "What happened to the other guy?"
Yeah, that's great.
Hell yeah.
I was off and flying, man.
So we have a lot on today's show. We have Jon Machota from The Athletic. We're going to talk Cowboys. He was on the bus with Jerry.
From the bus.
See what he has to say. We have viewer mail. We have gummy thoughts. We have the huge, which is like the news and stuff. We have some stories that I had teased earlier in the week, like a mini TiVo or the story of my mom's first period. But I can't get to any of these things because Blake kind of called for the ball before you even walked in, Jake. Blake's like, hey, I kind of got something.
Okay.
Although I do want to say one thing.
Copy and paste all this to Friday.
Did vote the other day. I only voted in the one that I watched the commercials for, so all the other candidates I just didn't even vote because I wanted to let it. I'm sure some informed people have decided who's the best candidate in these things.
Leave it to them.
I'm not going to even vote at all. Is that okay?
Of course.
As a civic duty? Okay. It feels wrong to just be like, oh, that guy's name is cool. So I decided to let that. But I did vote as a Democrat, which... Apparently, where I live, I swear to God, the Republican line was like Six Flags. They have all the back and forth row thing, and then and they were like, "Oh, go right in there." I just walked right in. I was voting within 2 minutes.
Dude, I got Dan's text that said Democrat line as I was walking up to the rec center. And I swear that I've voted in more than just a couple primaries. I could be wrong, but last time was the first time I remember it being kind of weird based on the setup. And last time they had us enter the building and go into 2 separate rooms. So that was like, okay, no big deal, right? You can definitely see that there's a line to get into one room, but you're not in the same room when you vote. This time, there's a line down the stairs out the building, down the sidewalk. I walked up, I got my phone in my hand, I see Dan's text. I'm like, what's that about? I'm in the back of the line, and a lady comes out, Democrats! She's 100 yards away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, me? It's
amazing.
Just me. And I passed the entire line.
And I don't know about
probably
you.
150, 200 people who are all staring at me. It felt exactly like being in the lunchroom or something and you dropped something, you know? Hadn't had that feeling in a long time. Walk all the way to the front. The only 2 people in front of me are like an old teacher and a guy who's maybe a guy, you know? And I'm
oh yeah. No, as far as
and I'm third in line. Oh, damn, dude.
It's the political fast pass.
It was so funny.
there was no a 50-year-old
White man
who goes to game day men, like not a barely in shape, but thanks to game day men's health, guy who looks like me.
You present hetero.
Every other guy that looked like me was standing over there looking at me walk by.
Yeah.
So
there was some women I could tell.
But I did want to
at me.
note this because I know you didn't go vote. You probably didn't, right? It would have taken you 2 hours. See where I slotted him? Anyway.
It also doesn't matter.
Hell yeah, Blake.
That's also the truth. So big, long receipt. It was like I was at CVS. They give you to show you that you're voting and stuff. And they go, here, we're going to put this stamp on it. This stamp, if I take this receipt, did they tell you this?
Yeah, also the first time.
You can get into the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. See, now Blake, a deal, is interested.
Huh.
He's like, oh, you take Brooks.
I must have never voted in a primary before because I've never felt this. So, yeah, keep that on the possibility.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe do a show.
We might do some shows out there. Anyway, sorry, Blake. I didn't. It took some of your time away. Please take the floor.
I hope this pays off.
Blake's little promo here or talk is brought to us by Frankel and Frankel Personal Injury Attorneys. Just remember, when you get in an accident, please call the Frankels 214 or 817, then dial all threes. And with your last, you've got your trachea crushed or whatever, with that little bit of breath, mention the dumb zone.
Right.
That's going to help us out in the long run.
Yes, they do work
And then
with other
they'll help you.
podcasts, so be specific.
So on Tuesday, I dressed up in front of you gentlemen, not for Last Call with Steve Noviello, but because the Argyle Lady Eagles were playing in the state semifinals on Tuesday night. I did not wear the sport coat to the game, but it was a big one over there, in which they won. So they advanced to the state championship game on Saturday. So I will drive down to San Antonio Saturday morning, do the game, come back Saturday evening.
Wow, what a long day.
It is, but with
Afternoon game?
It's at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So with the boys at home, it's just easier if I'm there overnight, get them up and going, get back for bedtime. This is just how it has to be.
Nice.
So we'll get to that this weekend. But I also told you, gentlemen, that Angelo's birthday is on Saturday. His birthday party is Saturday. So when I find out this news that I will be unavailable, I shoot a text to our good friend Angelo, the homeless guy that I've been funding $100 for almost a year now. And he was pretty upset.
No.
So much so that he sent me this text. When I see you, you can take back your card. I don't need your money.
No. Are you telling me Angelo might be a little
He's
less
breaking
than
up with you?
emotionally stable?
Angelo broke up with me.
No. Over the birthday?
Yeah. So a little a little background. I found out a few months ago that he's got another benefactor.
Sure.
This guy's name is Grayson. I think I can picture him in my head without even meeting him, based on the circumstances. Apparently, Grayson has been out of town in February. Angelo's birthday is on, I think, the 2nd of February. So this is a month late. Turns out Grayson has been out of town for whatever for
We
a
had to
month.
push it off for Grayson.
Because Angelo was trying to connect us two together for some reason. So he had kept pushing his birthday party back and back and back. And it was going to be March 7th. That's the day. I think the issue here...
I don't even
Give
know what
your
to
wife,
say.
like, she really wants you to meet her friends or whatever. You're the girl you're dating, like, when you're like, do we need to right now or whatever?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it might just be good
My
for-
wife wants me to meet her cousin and have dinner with him.
I was intrigued to meet this other person, and I was just more interested in the scenario that would play out of these Grayson and I sitting at a table with Angelo.
I'm
and
very interested.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to talk to him or really talk to Angelo any more than I have to, but I wanted to at least sit at the table and feel what
yeah.
it was like. So he had built this up in his head, I guess, that we were going to all get together on the 7th. And then when I told him I couldn't make it, that kind of sent him spiraling. And then he asked me why I didn't tell him about this on Monday when we saw each other in person. I had to explain to him, look, I didn't find out, whatever. This sent him off. He called me several times. I have a page full of text messages. He started to fly off the handle. And his last message to me that on that day was, you can take your card back. And so from the very beginning, I've been wondering how
was it when you saw him Monday? It was just giving him a card. It was normal.
He had had his card stolen, quotation marks, for like the 5th time. And so I've had to order replacement Venmo cards multiple times. One time I had to call someone at Venmo and say, I just had to explain the situation.
Right.
It's just, can I just get a new card, please? So from the very beginning, I've wondered how this is going to end because I've never pictured it going well. But I am now seizing this chance to end it because since then he's backtracked. He said, "Oh, we can move the party to another day. You know, I'm sorry, I apologize."
But he gave you an out.
He gave me an out, and I'm taking it.
Now, what does that look like? You just go back up to you just reply to the text 10 before, and you're like, this is the one I'm working with?
Well, okay, so
Boy, this is the Micah Parsons thing all over again.
the real reason I'm ending this has not been easy for me either.
Well, no, I don't think it was never going to be easy for you. And this is not the fun part of this experiment, but it is like you're doing good. So that's never going to be easy for you.
That's how it started. I thought I was doing something good. But now I'm in a way responsible for this homeless man. And when he loses his card or there's no money on the card or he needs additional money that the card doesn't have, it's now like he's become my responsibility. And in a weird way, I kind of thought I had the power in the relationship. That's not accurate to him because I'm just the deliverer of this money. It's his money. And so when he is caught in a situation where there's no money on the card or he doesn't have the card and he needs food, it's upon me to provide for him.
And he's mad at you if you don't.
Yes. And so naturally I want to say F this guy. But I guess maybe having children has created this. I have patience for this person in this situation. But since this has begun, it's just been a nonstop vicious cycle of it should be a Christianly duty to provide for this homeless man in need who agitates me to no end. But I don't know. What does Jesus tell you to do? Well, he's being an asshole. But what is charity all about? And this has been the battle in my head constantly for 9 months.
Yeah.
And it's not a good deed anymore. It's a burden, which then makes me feel bad.
It can be both.
It's nonstop. And so I don't have a problem giving him money. I just have a problem with how this makes me feel. So
and that's fair too.
I am bowing out.
So
at this
how's this going to
opportunity.
go?
I don't know, because when I first told him that I couldn't make it, I said, I'm sorry I can't make it this weekend. Let's get together on the 14th. And he went off, whatever. Now he wants to meet again on the 14th. And I thought maybe I'll tell him, like, look, you've said you're good. You don't want any of my money anymore. I'll shut down the card. I'll meet up with you for your birthday, and then we'll just go our separate ways.
Ooh, one last
romp
in the hay.
Sure, whatever you want to call it.
I'd be careful.
And that's what my wife told me.
Yeah. If he
careful.
thinks this is the last thing.
I'd just be careful in general.
But I'm thinking if Grayson is there, maybe he'll.
How about you just
he'll keep it
if you are to
de-escalated.
bow out, you should probably you don't have to go meet and get the card. Just let the card run out.
No. I told him because I don't know. I have a short fuse at times, and this really set me off in the moment. And he said, "You can have the card back or whatever." And I said, "No, I locked it on my end. It's good. Just throw it away." And so the card's locked. He can't use it anymore. I don't need to meet up for the card, but I'm just trying to find the most civil way to end this. I guess possible. How do you end a relationship with a homeless man?
It's fascinating.
He ended it for you, Blake.
Yeah, but
you got to proceed lightly.
He's going to want you to, of course, receive that with some.
It's like you asking Jake if he can have one beer. Like you're going to have one more interaction with him, and it's going to be right back into it.
I could see that happening too.
Yeah. No, because
he shows up wearing something extra homelessy.
I have a hard time saying no. I mean, that's a little bit why I'm in this situation. But I don't know, just the way he's acting now, like I would feel bad ending it, just cutting off all contact right now, which is probably what I need to do. So I'm trying to find a very diplomatic way to end this, but I'm afraid there's no answer for this.
All he really had to say
guy.
was congrats on the big win for the Lady Eagles.
That's where this all went south, is because it was over the Eagles. If this was over something else, Blake couldn't be there. Blake wouldn't have dug in this hard.
Right.
But if you're going to not recognize
come on,
how difficult it is to get to San Antonio.
So, yeah, that's my situation. It's still ongoing, I think. I think I need to just cut it off. But
I predict that you won't break up.
No, I have
This
to.
is an on-again, off-again relationship.
I have to. This takes me back to high school. Like, we talked about breaking up.
Oh,
That's the hardest part's bringing it up. Look, we did it. Let's move on.
Yeah, but look, just like high school, or at least for me, passive-aggressive guy, he did it. He opened it up.
Right.
And it's like, hey, it's actually not on me now.
Yeah. Yeah, he started it. He wants me back. I don't know. Kind of sucks.
Is our guest around?
It would be disappointing if you never met Grayson, though. That's probably the one thing keeping you in there, right? It'd be interesting to meet him.
Yeah, I guess, but then do I show up and he's condescending like, oh, you couldn't take the heat, could you? You're bowing out.
Yeah, you don't understand the homeless guy and his mental... Anyway, joining us now, let's switch gears into sports, right? Oh, we have a sponsor for this, Flooring Direct DFW.
From the wonderful world of sports, radio sports.
I did an interview with Dan.
Yeah, I like that.
Dan from Flooring Direct for our last Business Wednesday, if you want to go check that out. I think it's pretty good. It's an interesting story of his. FlooringDirectDFW.com/DZ is where you can go. Give us a little credit. Give us some imps. But the main thing is to get you new flooring, 0 interest financing for 36 months and nothing down. Dan says no one else is doing this in the industry. It's really weird that they're actually still in business with crazy deals like this, Jake.
FlooringDirectDFW.com/DZ. They'll bring the floors out to you, let you sample them there directly to you. That's the idea here. You don't have to go to the showroom. FlooringDirectDFW.com/DZ. Free financing until 2029. Will you pay for these floors before the Cowboys get a new starting quarterback?
Wow. That's deep.
Here's the Athletics.
Flooring Direct, DFW.com/DZ.
Our pros are the nicest. We got the prices. Flooring Direct.
That was terrible. Here's Jon Machota from The Athletic. Hello, John.
It's funny, Dan, because I'm looking over your shoulder and you got that, it looks like a Wheaties box almost that says Olympig. And I don't even remember that full story, but throughout this entire Winter Olympics, almost every time I hear the word Olympics, I think of that Olympic story and just how hard you were laughing about that. And I don't even remember the original story of what it was all about. But I just remember, I just thought it was like the funniest thing. And now that word is just stuck in my head and probably will continue all the way through the Summer Olympics.
That's good.
If I can recall, it was some kind of Olympic organizer, right? One of the
Yeah. He was
guys
talking.
bagging
One
on
male
somebody's
member
back.
was talking about a female member,
Yes.
and he
That was
referred to her as the
Yeah.
Olympic.
That was good stuff. So you were on the
Sorry.
bus, the legendary bus. Okay, first of all, just going to cover the Cowboys at the Combine. Is that cool? Is it a huge waste of time? Are you like, I'm only here because all the other Cowboy beat writers are here and none of us learn anything?
Well, no, I mean, since joining The Athletic, that's like the one time when all the NFL writers are together. And so the Monday we get there, it's a lot of meetings and stuff through The Athletic with just going over things that we like that we did over the previous season and things that we're going to do going forward. And so there's a lot of people that I just don't normally get to see at all other than on a Zoom or through Slack. And so that I would be going there regardless just for that. But the Jerry bus part, which is usually Friday or Saturday at the very end of the week, most other writers are gone by like Wednesday night, Thursday night, but we stay, most of us that cover the Cowboys, till Saturday just because we don't know when Jerry will have the bus. And we didn't even have it last year. We thought, Jerry always does this. Well, he'll have it. And then Friday goes by and we don't get him. And then so Todd Archer and I waited him out at the hotel that they usually stay at and probably sat around for 5 or 6 hours. And we're like, as long as Jerry walks out, we'll get him. And he walked out and he told us he didn't want to talk. I was like, I didn't even know who this person was. I was like, where is this a fake Jerry? Like, where is the real Jerry Jones? Like, I've never seen him turn anybody down. It was just me and Todd too. It wasn't like we were going to beat him down with a bunch of, oil and drilling questions or things about, any litigation that he had going on family wise in the court system or anything. We were just going to ask him a few Cowboys questions and he wanted really no part of that. And so I was like, all right, well, maybe the bus is done. And then this year when we get out there, it was very touch and go on if he was even going to be there. And it sounds like he didn't get in until Thursday night. And then Friday, we didn't know until probably about 3:00 that be at the hotel around 6:30, Jerry's going to talk on the bus. And then so we get on the bus right around 6:45, 7:00. And we're thinking that, hey, he's got to go then to the typical dinner he takes the scouts to and the coaches that are there, especially with a new coaching staff. We knew he was going to do that. So we're like, we probably only got like 20 minutes. And he answered the first couple of questions about George Pickens and like 5-6 minutes it took. And so I knew at that point it would go longer than that and it ended up going an hour. And so just to be honest with you, I've said this a lot in the last week. My 3 favorite things about covering the Cowboys are I love covering the games more than anything. The training camp, being out in California when it's, hot as balls here in Texas. And then it's the Jerry bus. And that's because nobody else gets to do something like that in the NFL.
So the Jerry bus is great for you and all the writers, gives you so much content for weeks. And it's great for us too. Same thing. Hell, content for years because we've referred back to the bus. Remember when he said this about free agents? But this year he's saying this because they don't seem to have a Ravens-like or Steelers-like just philosophy of this is the way we do things. It's always this is the way we do things now. Because I've recently been through a situation where it didn't work out, so now we're doing it this way. I say all that just to say, do we actually ever learn anything substantive from the bus, or does it all just feed what we love is just, we love Cowboys talk and, it gets clicks?
That's a good question because while you're asking that, I'm trying to think of what has been the most important thing that's been said on there over the years. And I do think there's a lot of BSing, this year saying that, we need guys that can contribute right away. So we can't have any redshirt guys that might be out because of injuries or off the field things. We need guys that can contribute right away. And while that sounds different, because obviously the Cowboys have targeted that, particularly in the second round, that still doesn't make me go 100%. Well, you can take these guys off the board. They won't draft them. I mean, it's Jerry Jones. And so because of that, that's the thing about these bus things is that even if that was the only time we talked to him, Obviously, we get him all throughout the season and in the offseason. But if that was the only time, it's such a great microcosm of how Jerry Jones is that you talk to him on that bus for an hour and he'll give you enough to take your article, whatever you want to talk about, in whatever direction you want. He leaves you enough for almost every argument to be like, well, he said this. Yeah, I know. But if you go to the 37-minute mark, he also said this, which means that couldn't be like that. So he talks in those riddles, which makes it easy for people to make fun of him and act like, well, he doesn't know ever what he's talking about and things like that. No, he's doing that on purpose because he wants to give you as much possible content.
I think the spin is incredible on different things. One is you said he started out talking about George Pickens, and the spin is that actually getting a franchise tag is quite the honor that we have bestowed upon you. I thought that was wonderful. It was masterful.
It was good. And he can certainly do that in this case because that's the biggest difference to me between George Pickens and then what happened last year with Micah Parsons. They have the same agent, so people make those comparisons, but they're just such different people. Jerry says that on the bus about Micah Parsons. There's a chance Micah tweets something an hour later or does his own podcast. George Pickens isn't going to say anything about how that conversation went or anything like that. He's not really into a bunch of media attention like that. He might occasionally post something on social media here or there, but he's not really going to do that back and forth stuff like Micah would. And, almost in his own way, go toe to toe with Jerry like Micah would. And so Jerry can say all that stuff and say, hey, it was a great conversation. And George was thrilled that he's going to be a Cowboy and, everything's great, when in all reality, I don't know how anybody would rather have 1 year, $27 million or 4 years, $35 million per season, which he probably could get on the open market.
I'd like one more spin thing that I thought is cool that we've been talking about is just that I've never heard this one before. And I heard you guys mention it too on the One Star Cowboys podcast. It's the probably the only Cowboys podcast I listen to. The new spin on first round picks. It is cool to have a couple, but they make more money than second round picks.
It's a new one.
So we're gonna try and spend money in free agency, but if we don't, we have this to fall back on. Like, hey, we did give George Pickens the franchise. That's a lot of money, and we're paying 2 first round picks. Get off our ass.
Salaries that are predetermined, which is a new one. I'd never heard anybody brag about that before.
Yeah, what's interesting to me about that is that I'm sure there's other people you can put in this conversation, but to me, I don't know that there's someone that has had a bigger impact on the NFL's growth and popularity. If you're just talking about one individual than Jerry Jones, like you go back to the 90s, the TV deals, everything pushing it out, everywhere you look, off season, there's no downtime. It's like they want the NFL to basically be 365 days a year. And I don't know that anybody has ever pushed for that or embodied it themselves as much as Jerry Jones. And in him doing that, everyone knows way more than they have ever known before. Like the NFL is there's sites that just focus on the salary cap. And so I think as he gets older, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect. He does keep up with everything that's going on. He does get clips and everything sent to him. I know he gets printouts of everything the Cowboys writers tweet and things like that. And so he is up on this stuff. But I do wonder if he really understands to the level of what you guys just said there, where it's like, you do know that we know these numbers, and we know that these numbers for these draft picks are nowhere near you spending big in free agency on, let's say, like a Jalen Phillips. It's not even in the same ballpark. And so I do think there's a little bit with him where I don't think he fully understands how much everyone on the outside knows about the NFL nowadays.
Wow, that's really interesting. I've never thought about that, right? And you don't need to know. I mean, because I've always been kind of the analytics dork and there's this website you can pay for and this and that. And now PFF, the coaches will use that and maybe have some level of respect for it. But I bet Jerry just thinks it's all bullshit. That it's just like that. You can look something up on a website. Cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, I do wonder about that too, because I obviously know nothing about oil and gas drilling, but it always makes me wonder. Okay, he's got to be using stats for that stuff. There's no way he's just still doing the wildcatting, just buy this land over here. Let's just give it a try. There has to be so much statistical information that's put on his desk that he has to believe in some of it.
That's interesting. I was thinking when you guys were talking about the Pickens thing, Dak was at some one of his off-season engagements, a children's charity thing. He's asked about it. He gives a pretty generic comment. People get upset about it because people get upset about just about anything Dak says, especially as it pertains to money. But it just made me think, he had to be careful what he said about Micah too. It wasn't just Jerry or whoever. Now that we're a year removed from this, can you give your perspective on the divide or what the relationship was like? It does feel like now that we're a year out or whatever, we can talk about like the Micah and not the Micah side and the Dak side, but it did feel like Dak was tolerating Micah. Not to say he wouldn't want him here, but was tolerating him rather than, building a team with him. That's the way it seemed from the outside.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like as I get older, I fight against don't be this old curmudgeon about things. But like, I just see the younger generation coming in the locker room, and I look at a guy like Dak who's like, early 30s, and he seems like he's so old compared to these guys just because of just how things are changed and how things are different. And just being around Dak since 2016, I've just seen how he's obviously had to mature in a ton of ways, from leadership on the field, family life, all of that. He's got so much on his plate to where like, I just don't know how he connects with a lot of the younger guys. And while I don't think there was like a disconnect between him and Micah. I think it was more so, I'm going to let him say what he wants. That's fine. But I've been here for a while. I'm kind of the old head. Like, it's not changing anything the way I go about my business. I think maybe it'd be a little bit different if Micah was on offense, but it was kind of like, hey, he's a special defensive player. Great, do your thing. I've always wondered, just seeing some things behind the scenes, how much Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence got along, which then that played out on social media. And if you go back to last season, you would have thought, well, that's why they weren't that interested in bringing back DeMarcus Lawrence. It was the handing of, we're passing the baton to you, Micah. This is officially your defense now, only to then later on trade Micah too. And now you don't have either of these guys. And so I would think there'd be more there than there ever was between Dak and Micah.
Yeah, part of that too was we're getting rid of him because we're going to pay you, and that means you're now a leader. Because they do that whenever they pay someone, right? Zeke has been, that guy's he goes into the quarterback meetings. They always seem to, it's a very vague, subjective thing, but we need you now to be a leader because I am now paying you all this money. And sometimes you're just not a leader.
Yeah, I think the problem or the thing you run into with Micah is that, when you go to the other side of the ball and whoever that is that got paid, we'll say Zeke or Des Bryant or CeeDee Lamb, if they didn't want to be the leader type, they really wouldn't have to because they were always around Romo or Dak. They were always going to take that mantle, whereas the defense really hasn't had that. And I mean, just in my 15 years covering the team, like, Dan, when you said earlier about the Ravens, like I just think of, you talk about like a Ravens or Steelers or some of these organizations, like heck, even the Packers to a certain extent, where Niners, where you can hear them say, we want to be the best defense in the NFL. Has that ever been said about the Dallas Cowboys? Is there anybody in the organization that's ever said that? That's why that's the other comparison why I don't put Micah and George in the same category either, because you had one of, if not the best defensive players in the game, and you traded him away. There was no like, hey, you know what? Maybe we build the best defense in football. Maybe we do that, and then we have Dak on offense, and maybe the offense isn't great, but it's like, it's just hard to argue against. They think that offense also sells tickets, and that's another reason why I don't think George Pickens is going anywhere. Like, first, I think Micah Parsons is a more valuable football player than George Pickens, but to the Dallas Cowboys, it might be the opposite.
Boy, that's another spin, and it's not a new one, really. But to hear it so overtly for Jerry Jones to say, the defense is bad because Dak makes all that money.
Yeah.
And I would just like to think, like, would the Chiefs ever dream of doing that? Would when there is cries about how come this and that on the team, they never say, yeah, well, because we got to pay this guy. Is that only because Jerry is still incensed, number one, that he's the highest paid quarterback, and number two, that he knows he's nowhere near the best quarterback? Like, if you have Mahomes, you're like, you're never going to blame Mahomes because he's Mahomes. But if you're Dak and I had these guys bend me over to these agents, you're going to – I mean, he's held on to this for years.
And, I mean, Dak played it great, and his agent obviously knocked it out of the park, both contracts. So he got everything that he could want, and that's great for Dak. But I think I could see Jerry on his side of it. That's still bothering him to this day. And the other part that adds in there is I thought everybody, including his agent and everybody on his side, said, well, yeah, you give him 60 because it just resets the market. And then the next guy gets more and the next guy gets more. Well, the next guy and the next guy and the next guy, including guys that have gone to the Super Bowl, have come up for contracts and haven't even gotten within $5 million per year of Dak. And so I find that one interesting right now just because Dak's agent is also the agent for Brandon Aubrey. And I'm sure in those conversations they're talking about, well, yeah, we get it. You want to make Brandon the highest paid kicker, but you got to reset the market because then all the other kickers are going to fall in line. And it makes me wonder if a Jerry or Steven or anyone in that room goes, yeah, you told us that about Dak too. And nobody's above 55 and our guy's still making 60. So
dude, he was saying that I'm sorry to interrupt you. He was saying that last year about Micah in training camp.
Yep.
Like that. So it's still sticking with him that God, they keep telling me. I mean, it does happen with everybody, except it didn't happen with Dak.
And the reason why I think that stuff stands out is because, again, I don't know enough about his wins and losses in real estate and oil and drilling, but I feel pretty confident saying he probably doesn't suffer many losses in that realm, especially as he's gotten older and his wealth has just increased. And so I don't know that he's probably taken losses in the last 15, 20 years like he has in those negotiations with Dak Prescott. He just always assumed Dak would give in. His side wouldn't hold out all the way to the last, top of the dollar like they did. And they absolutely called his bluff and were like, yeah, we will. And that's why it probably factored in with the Micah thing too, where he's probably like, well, I'm not going to get completely worked over like this again. And that stuff shouldn't matter when you're also the general manager. You should be getting the best team on the field. There's a salary cap, pay these guys and keep it moving. But it's hard for me to ever believe that it doesn't get personal with Jerry, especially when it comes to business.
I want to play that Dak piece of audio. Didn't you reference this, Jake?
Yeah,
I think Jon Machota brought this up, but I thought this is somewhat controversial. I think you recorded this, John, at some kind of Children's Cancer Fund. Some kind of charity, some kind of whatever, children's cancer. Anyway, Dak is...
well, they're not funding the cancer.
Dak is being asked about, why the hell would you fund children's cancer?
Well, I mean, that's why I just said it's a charity.
This is Dak.
New Jersey's.
Talking about Pickens' contract negotiations and getting that franchise tag.
Yeah, George loves football. That's the one thing about it. I just want him to know, don't change your love for football. Don't get in the business mind of this. You played last year on a 1 year for not even that much, right? So if you can go 30, whatever it is now, I think it's the same thing I got. So, when I'm franchised. So, hey, go do it. At the end of the day, bet on yourself. He's a hell of a player. Hopefully we can get him long term and sign that. But if not.
All right. So basically that's. I mean, he's sounding like a member of management there a little bit, which does happen with quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think he also wants George to probably
go to minicamp,
show up to things, So, I mean, Dak's going to get married this summer, and he's also probably going to have to spend time with George on his own because George probably won't show up to some things, because that's what happens generally when you get a franchise tag and you don't want it. So, as of today, I don't think George Pickens will be at all of OTAs and minicamp, and they want him to be a bigger part of the offense. So, I think there's going to be a bit more on Dak's plate away from the facility to get George caught up on maybe some things that they're working on heading into training camp. But I also don't disagree with what Dak said there. And I hate taking this stance because the last thing I ever want to do is sound like I'm just defending Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, because obviously there's a lot to be critical of them. But this idea that George Pickens has just been killing it for 5 years and it's just he's up and it's time to pay him, like, do we not have TVs and saw what happened in Pittsburgh? He just saw what happened last year in Dallas. And so give him, like, the idea that it's just so wrong to not want to see another year. He's just turned 25 the other day. Like, you franchise tag him if everything goes well again and you do, I don't know, something crazy like make the playoffs, then he's lined right up for a monster deal again next offseason. Like, I don't think that they're really doing that wrong by the guy. So I don't completely disagree with what Dak said there.
It's a weird, this came up a couple years ago with the Mavericks with Kyrie, where it felt like neither team really had leverage. Maybe both sides had all of it. I don't think another team wants to make George Pickens their wide receiver one for $37 million a year. Just don't.
And then give up 2 first-round picks.
Right. And I even as if he were to walk next year, right? Like, I don't think another team is sold on that, whereas the Cowboys really, really, really need him. Really badly.
But Jake, if he does what he did this year, though, again, then he's absolutely getting north of 35 from somebody.
You're probably
the
right.
Bills just gave up a second-round pick for DJ Moore. Someone will give him a monster deal.
Let's say that it's the whole year again. Like, he balls out, but he also is at the tables at 2 a.m. and you have to bench him for the first quarter. He's not showing up on, he don't always like Tuesdays and Thursdays or whatever shot he said. If he does that entire thing again, which he will, right? Why would he do that after you upped his salary to $28 million? Why would it be different? I don't know. It's a very tricky situation.
It is, but it really does come down to it just only takes one, and I don't even think it would be just one. I think there'd be 2, 3, 4 teams that would sit there and go, especially teams that have good quarterbacks. Like, if you have a good quarterback, you're like, this guy, like Dak, will be there. The bad move would be trying to do that, and then you put him back in a situation where he has to deal with a aged Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett situation. If you put him with a good quarterback, like, we'll just use, even though obviously, like I said, they did the trade today, but let's say it was Buffalo, and you're putting him with Josh Allen and things like that. I think and he has respect for the coach, and they're using him in a variety of ways. I think you would get George Pickens best. If you put him in a situation in some city he doesn't want to be in, and it's a revolving door of Zach Wilsons and Justin Fields at quarterback, you're probably going to get what you got in Pittsburgh again.
You mentioned something to us Super Bowl Sunday about how you were surprised that in some small way that Mike Vrabel never ended up with the Cowboys throughout any of their coaching searches because Steven and Mike Vrabel were actually sort of close. And it just got me thinking, you're in Indy last week. Are there any other – because that one really, I think, blew our minds. That felt very buddy cop. Are there any other guys or names that have been around in the past 10, 15 years that were close that you were surprised, maybe that we didn't know about? We would always hear like Urban Meyer or, Lincoln Riley, and those just never seemed even remotely possible to me, but neither did Vrabel.
So the top 2 for me are definitely Sean Payton and Mike Vrabel, and that's because both of them, let's see, how do we put this, are good with the nightlife, just like the Joneses are. And so I've always thought, like, I could see these guys fitting together. Who's another one who really embraces the nightlife? And when I say that, I don't even think he drinks, as far as I know. I just usually see him out. But it's Mike McDaniel. And so that was another one. Like, he's always around. So, like, those guys always, to me, were always the ones where, like, I've always felt like Jerry in particular, but Steven too, like, you just know that Jerry didn't have a ton of fun with Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells. And not that he was hanging out at night with Jason Garrett either, but there's always been a part of me, I'm surprised that they don't link up with like a Sean Payton or Mike Vrabel where they're friends beyond just, football and stuff like that. So there's not even a close third. Those 2 have always been at the top of the list for me. But I think also the thing comes back to, as crazy it is to say this, you're the most valuable sports franchise, but you don't pay top of the line for coaches. And you're going to have to pay the top of the line to get one of those guys.
He loves having dinners with Shotty, maybe.
Yeah.
Shotty loves dinner.
And a Shotty, that's a drink I made up. It's smaller than a regular drink.
My name is Schottenheimer.
Yeah. All right, John. Well, like Dan said, really love the One Star Cowboys podcast. And we appreciate your time here.
Always good talking to you guys.
We'll talk very soon. There he goes, Jon Machota. I don't know if that information was old or updated, but I would love to know that Mike McDaniel is a sober guy who goes out and parties.
Because it's you, right?
It is. Show up with a tray full of cookies at 1:30.
Is Mike McDaniel eating donuts with ice cream in the middle of them?
I think I've told you guys this before, but when you are like in the booze and you're thinking like, I would like to get out of this, everybody who's out of it, you're like, damn, that's cool. And I remember hearing about him early on, like when he was working with the Falcons, he was kind of living at the facility and he was drinking there all the time. And they were finding bottles, like they sent him to rehab. The Falcons, like Thomas Dimitroff did.
Oh.
But I remember listening to Mike McDaniel talk around the time I first found out, anything about him. Maybe it was when he got hired by the Dolphins. And they're like, how's your day? And he's like, well, it's treats day. I'm a big snacks guy. My wife went to the snack store yesterday, and then I found out that he was an alcoholic. And I'm like, damn.
It's my guy.
It does make sense. You got to keep Pop-Tarts around, whatever. I imagine Jerry would want to, like, throw him. He wants to ride McCarthy. He'd want to toss
Look how fun it is.
Daniel like a little Lacewell.
I
got a couple of other sports things.
Okay, let's do it. Let's make it brought to us by Fair Lease. Fairlease.org is our car dealer.
We have guys. We have guys out there. Connor and Nick. They are Big Dumb Zone guys. Got to know those guys over the last couple of months. Here's a phone number for you. 972-705-4815. That's the Dumb Zone hotline.
That's an exclusive hotline for just us.
Correct.
Damn.
Rewind
a lot
it
of
if you
pressure
need
to have one of those phones.
These are good people. Like I said in the spots earlier this week, the credit union in Texas is a big deal here because they're not having to go call the bank. There's no middleman. They have the rate right there for you. They were telling me stories about people that you have good credit history, but let's say medical emergency hits, and for a few months you can't make your car payment. This is a situation where they're going to work with you. They are a local community-owned bank.
That sounds incredibly fair.
They will work with you to lease cars, too, if you were confused about that part.
That
you got the
sounds
first
like a lease,
part down, yeah. Fairlease.org, that also works. Tell them the Dumb Zone sent you, however you get there. But that phone number, 972-705-4815.
I guess I could have hit this a little earlier.
We'll get there.
Feliz Navidad.
Is it worth it?
Feliz Navidad.
I think so.
A lot of build-up.
Feliz Navidad.
So we were talking to Jon Machota.
Feliz Navidad.
He referenced, there's a lot of websites you can go to out there that
Generic.
have a lot of football data now. And he referenced one where you can do the salary cap. There's a bunch of them. Overthecap.com is one you'll hear me reference a lot. I pay for and write off.
Oh,
Nice.
writing it off.
That preemie subby.
Nice.
Thank you, Sean Kernan, for teaching us how to be to manage our wealth.
It's a lot of cool
On Business
resources,
Wednesday.
and it's maintained by former agents. It's a lot of stuff that you would never need, but it's a great resource for the media, and they have a bunch of cool stats on here. And one thing they have is historical contracts. So they have back to like at least the 90s, early 90s. And what they have is tables that show, hey, like here's what this guy made. Emmett, the big Emmett deal, 7 for 40.5, right? That was the big contract in 1996 that he held out for. It's 5.78 a year was the deal.
Okay.
But what this website will do is it will list that number as a percentage of the cap at the time.
Ooh.
Because that's really what you want to know, right? Like,
Yeah.
what are you allocating your cap money to? And it will do that, and then it will adjust it for inflation.
To say, what would that be today?
Yeah. Which is pretty sweet.
Okay. Do you also have some kind? Well, I guess the cap percentage will do this for us. But I remember Jerry talking about the fact that, Emmett wanted quarterback money. Was that quarterback money of the day?
Of the day, yeah.
Okay.
Of the day, it definitely was.
So that would be like today.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley signing for $50 million a year.
It is 7 years, $300 million, so it's $43 million a year. So
That's what Emmett's would translate to today.
Yeah. It was one of the, because you know how I originally ended up at this? You keep making the point about Dak's contract being like setting and so I keep looking at it like, oh God, it is bad. And I clicked over on running back, and unless the game changes, I don't know, more than it ever has, the Cowboys gave out the richest running back contract of all time, and it'll never be topped. When you click sort for top on running back,
Zeke is?
yeah.
Okay, because the cap has been going up, the Barkley thing didn't look okay.
Correct. So that one will never be topped. So I started messing around, and I was like, well, what about historically? And
historically, you would maybe think that the Dak one will never be topped.
It might, yeah.
Like 2 years ago, at least.
It's very close.
Okay.
Burrow, okay, so like Aaron Rodgers, well, let me just say this. There have been several contracts after Dak's that did not top him. Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Tua, new Josh Allen. Josh Allen's percentage of a cap is considerably lower than Dak right now, and that cap contract was signed more recently. The Dak thing is really bad. It's just that Burrow slightly edged him out because of the way that the contract is structured. But Dak's is not being touched. It's just funny to also go back and you just look at, like, you think of him at making nothing. I mean, that's a lot of money. It's just that inflation has occurred. When you hear these guys talk about, oh man,
we didn't make money back in the day.
It's one thing if you were in the 50s, 60s, maybe even 70s, but and then just a couple of other interesting things I looked at. I had our one of our interns, Henry. I had him look at the length of every NFL team's end of season press conference.
Oh.
Because, it's kind of like when we used to do Who's Got It Better Than Us, and we would, during an NFL season, whoever the Cowboys' opponent was, we would try to take a minute and focus on, well, what do they got going on? What sort of scandals do they have going on? What sort of weird things have the people involved in their management said in the last few years? And, you'll see the Cowboys do an hour and 10-minute press conference before the draft, after each round of the draft, before training camp, after the end of the season. So the Cowboys this year was 1 hour and 7 minutes long. And it was, by a pretty good margin, the longest one. And they didn't fire anybody. They didn't hire anybody, at least not at that press conference,
Yeah, like the Bills one was a big deal.
The Bills was 53 minutes.
Okay, they even beat the Bills.
But, for example, the Broncos, 18 minutes. The Chiefs, it was 13 minutes.
Look, we're done.
Do playoff teams have shorter ones?
For the most part, yes. The Packers were 27 minutes. The Bears were 18 minutes. The Falcons were an hour. They had Matt Ryan. But I just, you can go through it and look at it.
They had a new head coach, Matt Ryan, as well.
Yeah. There was some other funny ones on here. Let's see. The Steelers was 15 minutes. Like, come on.
Dude, I've
In and out.
I've ingested a full Tomlin press conference, and it's incredibly different than
anything we've had.
Than Shoddy, yes. It is very, we're here, here's info. It's kind of like if you were in a meeting with Tomlin. Tomlin would not be telling you about his kids that day and this thing that happened. He'd be like, all right, we're here. What are we doing? All right, we're done. Like, I got stuff to do.
Objectives.
Yeah.
And then one more note.
Where Shoddy is the opposite. Shoddy's like, what? Let's talk. Let's have fun. You have lunch? What'd you have?
My mom calls it building me a watch. Right?
What does that mean?
I didn't ask you to build me a watch. I asked you to tell me the time.
The history of quinoa.
Yes.
Just I was listening to some stuff yesterday and heard some football nerds say that last year the best, or at least the teams who did it the most, so we'll just say the best teams on fourth down as far as going for it when they should, the highest percentage in the league was about 70%. It was the Packers. That's not to say they converted at 70%, but when...
So looking at the chart, which says...
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could debate the chart, but I usually keep it almost... You can keep it up during games. It's not crazy, but it's mostly when we think you should go for it. You know, it's going to be most... I would say the average fan may not be 100% of the time, but it's probably 80, 90% of the time. And now the best teams are clipping at about 70. It's... way, way different. If you go back to 2014, which is the first year I have this website, runningbacksdon'tmatter.com, In 2014, the first year they have this data, there was only one team hitting it over 50%. And actually, it was at 50%, and it was the Ravens, and nobody else was above 35. It's barely over 10 years ago. Like, almost the entire league is over 50% now, as far as where you should be.
Well,
Where's the Cowboy?
They have a guy now.
Everybody has a guy. The Ravens always had multiple people. The Ravens always had some nerds with non-football names on their staff, and
That's
Harbaugh would
interesting.
listen to them.
I don't think of the Ravens like that.
They are, dude. They've always had the most analytic staffers. They hire people from all these websites I go to. The Cowboys last year were roughly slightly above middle of the pack.
I thought they'd be lower.
Interestingly enough, the other Harbaugh last year was last.
Well, then that makes you think, was it John Harbaugh or was it the Ravens?
Yeah, you don't know. And they were built, you can run the ball.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, obviously, introducing the tush push has changed because other teams are, running derivatives of it. But I don't know. It goes back to something Blake says a lot. It's just a bunch of guys who grew up playing Madden eventually ended up in charge of NFL teams, and we get a better game for it, I think. Football.
Let's do some viewer mail.
Oh, yeah.
It's Thursday.
Wait a minute, Uncle Hotmail. Hey, Uncle Hotmail. Uncle Hotmail, look at me.
The first one I got will refer to our sponsor, because we do get a ton of emails just literally regarding Ownwell. Like, people like to it's almost like people don't believe us. Like, seriously, you go there for a couple minutes, you just fill in your info, and then you just lay back and enjoy it. And it might be like nothing. They'll get you $50 off. That might be thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So this email is from Gabe. I've been a P1 of Dan the moment his whiny bitch voice pierced the Dallas airwaves. I am now a DZ Day 1, an annual subscriber. You're my leader, Dan, despite your misguided stance that today Luka is a top 10 player of all time, and more recently putting Jokic as the fourth greatest player of all time. Jesus, what are we doing?
This
I digress.
guy doesn't know ball, except when it comes to how to save money on his property tax.
I digress. He says to Ownwell, I signed up with Ownwell. What's the website? Do you have that in front of you?
Ownwell.com/thedumbzone.
Process was easy as advertised. Requested Ownwell to appeal my value. After a couple months, the results were in, and they were able to reduce my value. As is the agreement, we paid Ownwell a portion of the anticipated savings. Flash forward to this February. I walked out to my mailbox. I have a letter from my mortgage lender. There was $4,376 in a check representing a surplus in my escrow based on the new reduced value that Ownwell got me.
Let's go to the club.
In addition to that, my monthly payment went down by $350. So how about that? Thanks, Ownwell, for the expertise and service. Never punt. Always kick the field goal through the opponent's uprights.
That's a good piece.
That's from Gabe, but there you go. Ownwell. Actually, like I said, people will email us like, actually, I didn't believe you guys, so then I tried it. And look, they did save me money. So that's cool.
Man, I got a ton of stuff here.
Prove it.
And I feel like a lot of it is baby-centric, so we're going to save a little bit of that.
Baby?
Fake baby?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are.
From Rick, the debate over Jake's dirtbagginess that centers over him drinking out of the washed piss cup got me wondering this. Dan, would you ever drink out of a spit cup that you washed in the dishwasher? Pretty yucky.
Absolutely, I have.
Pretty yucky.
Would you Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, it's my spit. There are probably little residue pieces of spit, like if I eat an apple and I take a bite out of it, and then I take another bite. There's probably a residue of my spit on that apple somewhere because I used my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Had a little flying drop of pee come out onto the apple, and then I ate the apple. I think I would feel a lot worse about it. So I'm going to defend myself, saying there's a great difference.
I've been thinking about Blake's pee bag for a couple days.
He said he went to the bathroom in a Ziploc bag, like a snack bag or a sandwich. That's important.
No, that's
too.
not holding enough urine.
No, it's a gallon bag.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
a
imagine.
big gallon?
The big
No, a
freezer
quart.
bags.
Okay.
Yeah, big freezer bag.
Oh, you should get
so
the freezer.
It's a strong zipper on the top.
It's still.
Oh, the slider?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still.
That's interesting.
It's been interesting.
But I wouldn't want to hold it and feel the warmth of the
no, you hold it by the top and.
But you drive so aggressively.
That's
that it's
true,
just
too.
Like,
That's true too.
Lot to work with. A lot of tough things.
You'll come around.
I got one on Tyler tells us about Boy Scout fundraising because I was talking about the Girl Scout cookies that I buy.
Mm-hmm.
He says, in case you care, my son is in the Boy Scouts, or rather Scouting America. He's raising money for himself and his troop by selling. Do you know?
No.
I know.
Mulch.
What?
Huh?
Dude, the Boy Scouts get robbed so hard on the fundraisers.
Yeah, who's going to get excited about seeing you in your front yard with a table
Right.
with a mulch on it?
Smells like ass.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the right manure / wood mix?
You got a 7-year-old out there. He's like, "No, what you want to do with this one? This is going to be good for your begonias."
So this is Tyler. He says, feel free to drop my email address in the show notes, and people can reach out if they live within 5-mile radius of the Carrollton Farmers Branch Coppell area. That's going to be up to Blake, Tyler.
Mulch.
We had to sell unpopped popcorn.
Oh my God, that's
Not even
small
in
town.
bags, just raw unpopped popcorn.
That sucks.
Here's a handful.
Why don't they mow lawns or something?
That's a merit badge.
That sucks. Our favorite Brit weighs in. British people do say burgle.
Burgle.
Yeah. Like that home was like they'll say.
Oh.
I thought it was funny. The burglary. Oh, it was they say no. You were burgled. That's an actual word. Speaking of actual word, Mark brings up an interesting point, at least for the whites out there. As he says, "Hey, bruvs, we decent whites don't say the N-word, but it has always bugged me that N or N-word is a terrible substitute when quoting lyrics, movie lines, Huck Finn, etc." He says his answer is neighbor.
So you're singing out loud. You're singing Gold Digger?
Yeah.
He's not messing with any broke neighbors.
Yeah, but you can also neighbor, as
Neighbor.
he says.
Do you feel that's okay?
I don't think it is.
Oh.
And here's another thing that I was thinking about this week. There's a guy on social media right now who I think he's about my age. He's making a lot of content around the idea of the wigger, which is a word I don't know that I should be saying. But he, a fellow white, is leaning into it. Like, oh, this is classic, wigger culture. And I know what he means because, I was in high school.
Mid-cities.
Yeah, we were throwing that around way too freely.
It feels like I'm just saying that because I want to say something else, right?
And it's like as close as you can get to.
Steer clear all the way.
Yeah, that was a big thing. I have someone emailed us, Adrian. Do you know who's John Norris? He says you have to hear what John Norris says after this Aerosmith video at the 12:10 walk. Mark, he was watching like an MTV 1992.
He was he had like weird teeth.
He's the VJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like the gap tooth.
Yeah. Kind of a dork.
All right, so there's an Aerosmith video, and this is John Norris on MTV.
not real music. It's
Steven
not
Tyler's
real
produced
music.
some great music over the years, but nothing as great as his daughter, Liv Tyler. I don't know if you've seen her. Well, she is 15, so I'll stop talking about her. But Love in an Elevator, there's Aerosmith. Suzanne Vega.
Why even start down that road?
Oh my God. Yeah, and it's like sometimes Dan will
It's out of
look
his
up.
hands.
Dan will look up something in the news, and I'm like, she's
Oh,
15.
Yeah,
He's like,
hot
oh.
name. Oh,
He knows full well. He's made some cool stuff, but nothing as cool as that young piece of ass. You want to do a gummy thought?
Sure.
Are they up
I got
today?
a couple. Who?
EB?
Early
Yeah.
Bird CBD? Yeah, actually, I just
People keep emailing me, and they're like, holy, it works.
I conversed with Eric yesterday. Eric from Early Bird CBD,
Nice.
because he says yes. He apologizes. Maybe it was the THC talking, but he said, yeah, when the promo code actually expired at the end of February, and that's why it wasn't working at the very beginning of March. But he has re-upped it
nice.
for the Dumb Zone listener. Dumb Zone 20. If you go to earlybirdcbd.com, get you 20% off. It's the real stuff. It's THC. It's so if you get drug tested at work, we do not recommend earlybirdcbd.com. But if you like to take the edge off after a long day, maybe a long day of announcing high school girls basketball games and then dealing with your homeless guy, like it's you might need to pop an Early Bird or two.
And you
It's up to you.
would be
I'm
a
not
fool
gonna-
to pay full price. It's
20%
dumbzone
off.
20 at earlybirdcbd.com. All right. This is a super simple one.
Where's mine?
Okay. You know, I told you guys I not a big deal, but I invented YouTube TV.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Well, I sort of invented YouTube.
YouTube Stream TV is a streaming service, and I don't know that you had the.
I guess what I
Foresight
invented the smart TV.
Yeah, there you go.
Like in 2002 or 2003, I had buddies who were plugging HDMI cables, and then we would run the audio through separately, you know?
We all did that.
Really? Like with your laptop? Is that what you were
To
doing?
trying to get him watch something that was on your laptop through
Yeah.
the TV? Yeah. Well, I mean, we tried.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah.
But Jake was in Plano, which he thought was the technology hub of America.
They were from Plano.
Okay.
But I think I was in the car the other night. This came to my mind with both Cirque du Soleil and the ticket. And really just in general, this seems like you're complaining about, like, you know, it's a Louis C.K. bit of like having Wi-Fi on an airplane. But like, let's say that Cirque is live or the ticket is live. If I go to the podcast app and I go over to like Cirque, if they're live, I should be able to press a button and it play immediately. If they're live on, like if ESPN is, all of the things on your phone should be more integrated far more seamlessly. And they will be eventually.
So,
you know?
like, we put a podcast out.
Yeah.
You're saying if you go to that podcast, it should be airing us right now.
Well, yes, especially if it is an outlet that has a live product. Like it shouldn't, Sports Day Talk app and Apple, and those should not be different things. YouTube and Apple should not, I understand like why they are for business reasons, but the delivery method, okay, here's another example. If you fire up the ESPN app and you want to watch a video, do you find that to be like a nice process?
no.
No, it's a
Boy, they're the worst.
They pretty much all are, but like we have these
Amazon's not great.
supercomputers on your.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a world where the latency of everything you do takes 20 seconds will be gone. And it's in the moment very frustrating to me when you are dealing with it, right? Like even on your TV, like going from thing to thing to thing is like, oh, okay, I guess I'll wait 20 seconds. There's a lot of stuff
For it to load.
and I think that one of the next things in like entertainment culture will be more of an integration of your shit to where you're not constantly.
I mean, is this you saying I want cable TV again?
No.
This is AI, isn't it?
Because there's some level, I guess, of like predicting what you.
You just say, listen to Cirque Live. and
Yeah.
it delivers.
Yeah, it would be very cool if on your phone you had the Dumb Zone logo, and if we were live, you pushed that, and it just played what we had.
Yeah, there's different ways you could do it. I think the technology is there. And then my other gummy thought.
So this was a gummy thought. So you were just high and like, I can't find it.
Yeah,
what the
probably.
hell, man?
It wasn't so much I can't find
right
it. It's just
here.
trying to troubleshoot.
Why isn't it here?
I thought it was here.
Well, it's like, think of it this way, right? It's 8:10. I'm in the car and Cirque is on, and I'm like, okay, what do I do? Do I go to the Cirque button on my podcast page? No. Okay, because it's not live there. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Nah, no.
I know a lot of guys who watch or who will fire up YouTube.
And I will too, because I pay for premium, which is by far the best money you're ever going to spend.
Explain.
I'm not there yet, man. I can't do it.
Write it off.
I think it's like $100 a year, but just not having ads on YouTube, and it allows you to do like the minimize, and you could even play something else. You know, it can run in the background.
Can you turn your phone off?
Yeah.
Or close your phone?
Yes.
You can do that without premium.
Okay.
You didn't used to be able to.
Yeah, I couldn't a few months ago.
Yeah, bring up YouTube, minimize it, then go back to your home screen. It'll stop playing, but then you drag down the top bar and then hit play.
I'm not going to do any of that.
It's not as
pay a
hard.
little bit of money.
I described how you do it in less than 10 seconds, and you don't have the
You
patience to
just-
hear it.
No, I know I'm not going to remember what you just said.
Okay,
I'll
another
show you
service.
later.
These ideas are free. You've never really been a big social media guy. I've tried to get access to like my MySpace account back before, and it's basically it's kind of impossible. Don't you think that like just like when digitization sprung up, I feel like there should be a service out there where they're like, hey, for $499 or whatever, I can get you access to all your social media accounts. I can get you into them so that you can get, or I can get you all the data from them, all the photos, all the. I think this is going to be a thing that as people get older, they're like, I wish I had a social media account from when I was younger. They have no idea. How the hell are you going to get somebody from AOL on the phone or something? But some sort of customer service representative type.
How about you when you did the time machine thingy to find the OJ audio? Are you able to do that?
I think I got really lucky with that one.
What
like
was
a
that
past
called?
version of your computer?
The Wayback
The
Machine.
Wayback Machine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can find.
It was just these were websites were out in 2002 and
Yeah.
like, but it's no longer there. But he was able to recover and find like old lost Kate Delaney OJ videos.
But I couldn't find Payne Stewart's Chinese accent.
I know.
So you win
There's a
some,
limit.
you lose some.
Someone has it.
Find me my MySpace
Are you worried?
page.
Is this because?
No, I'm not worried about anything. I'm really not. I think it'd be fun.
But is it for people to? I can scrub everything I've had, or is it because you want to rush and cancel people?
No,
And
I
so
think
can
it's just so
find
you can look at it and be like, that ruled. My life was cool. I don't have all those photos anymore. I don't remember that, not because of like booze, but like to be able to go back and look like, oh, that college.
Because when you're a
thing you
kid, you're
did.
not thinking it's going to be cool to see this stuff later. I didn't order a yearbook for school, but my mom ordered one for me.
Sure, I know.
Because I was just like, I don't care. I'm not going to care. And now I am glad that I have one. So I can see what the hots of the day looked like. Gummy thought, this one was an email. Should the drummer of a Def Leppard tribute band have to play with one arm?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you committed to the bit or are you not?
Yeah, I actually had a friend who passed away because he got too committed to being in a Queen tribute band. Got AIDS.
Hey, you got to commit, like you said. Another one from me after I fired up a couple of early birds. Because I did this. Do this some evening. Stop what you're doing and do a montage, like a movie director is working this in your head. A montage of what your friends are doing right now.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I went over to Blake. He's dealing with a crying baby. And then Brooks is over in the room brushing his teeth. I went to Clayton, who was cleaning his gun in it was kind of looked like he was on a workbench type area, but just very, very, it was dark and dank. But that gun, man, That thing was spotless. You could eat off it. Jake, I went over to him. I think he was eating a donut or something. Whatever, but just like you just roll through your friends and just like where is everybody and what are they doing right this very second?
That's very funny.
Were you in my house last night? Because that's what I was doing.
I think life would be pretty sweet if every day you could see a montage like how the Shield used to have. They just have a song that they'd kind of do that, show you
End
each
the
member
show,
of the
yeah.
strike team kind of showing.
Yeah, one guy's just walking in saying hi to his family. The other guy is doing a line of code.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the dichotomy. Here's one from my daughter, a viewer mail. She told me the other day on the way to school that they had a sub the day before, and I'm always interested in that. I'm like, so what's the word? Good, bad, indifferent? She's like, well, this one got kind of upset with us at the end of the day, and I'm kind of like reliving school right now. You know, there's a lot of stuff I forgot about, and one of them was she was like, yeah, she was upset, and she just eliminated our last period of reading time for put your head on the desk and be quiet. I was like, oh shit, I hadn't thought about that in forever. Put your head on the desk and be quiet. She was like, yeah, for 10 minutes. I was like,
As if it was the
ooh.
longest thing they've ever
So
done.
I looked it up, and there's like a bunch of debate about this, you know, in schools of like, is when you go to detention, what are you supposed to do? Like, you don't want to reward them, but because then I started thinking, dude, the second she said that, and like game day men's health, I have a lot of energy, I feel great. It was like 7:25 in the morning, and she's like, we all laid our head down. I was like, fuck, that sounds awesome. Like immediately, oh my God, just a little period of the day where you just lay your head down.
That does seem like it's a reward for the teacher because they get less to do and noise.
Turn
but
the temp down.
Are you being a teacher? Your job is, what did I just call you? A reward for who? You are a teacher, not a babysitter, just trying to keep everybody in line. So is that an opportunity to do some reading? To do a little something?
They may not be doing it, you know?
Heads down, thumbs up.
Heads down, thumbs up. Man.
Got a why Hillary lost. Dear Dan, I'd like to submit the following. People like Jake who make a big deal out of using unhoused instead of homeless should consider the following. Un as a prefix means not. Therefore, unhoused means not housed. Less as a suffix means without. Therefore, homeless means without home. The words literally mean the same thing, yet using the proper terminology seems to serve more as a way to feel superior, despite both terms conveying the exact same meaning. That's from Kyle.
This is one of the tricky things about doing a show as brilliant as this one, is I only started saying unhoused because people with like blue hair started seriously saying unhoused. Check in with me on the word equity too. I don't think it means anything different from equality. Let's talk about the baby.
One more before the baby, because the baby's going to end us, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I got two.
You got others?
An
Okay.
anchored phrase, anchored word, whatever. This from Rick. Circuitous.
Yeah, that's a good one. Circuitous route. It's the only route.
Yeah, I think so. And then a graphic. This is from our good friend Chris Mykoski doing some, I think Texas softball maybe. He had an idea for a graphic and he threw it up on the screen. This graphic called 2026 Texas Longhorns Things That Are Back.
Yes, things that are back.
And then just highlights how they brought some starting pitching back, now college baseball. So yeah, some of their starting rotations back. Things that are back.
That's great.
We've infiltrated.
Used to be a field.
This last one before we start talking about fake babies. Dear Uncle Hot Wife, I want to thank you for your tireless work documenting the countless memorials to the 9/11 terrorist attacks found all over this country. Oh, he writes country. Sorry. As we all continue healing from the tragic events of 2025, I fear a new wave of commemorative fervor is rising. This time centered around 19-time Cup Series winner Greg Biffle.
Yeah, it could be taken off.
There exists a true patriot outside of Singleton, Texas. who has dedicated the pond on his property to Mr. Biffle. For those who want to downplay his impact, just know that Greg Biffle was named one of NASCAR's top 75 drivers of all time, like Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Never turn right. That's from Connor. And yes, he did a Google Maps, gave me a link to this place in Singleton, Texas, with the Greg Biffle Memorial Pond.
That is amazing.
All right. I think these other emails now will refer to the fact that I was at the gym and I saw a girl, which I thought she had her baby there. It turns out the baby was fake, but she was doing this up and down, kind of rocking it, doing a little burp on it, talking to her friend. It was just not a real baby. So we think it was probably some kind of a school assignment,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would not have drawn that conclusion at all because I was not aware of these sorts of programs in the slightest.
Did you think she was going to go throw it in the pool?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw it at her Hawaiian Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A very real-looking baby thrown into the lazy river while I was there with my 2-year-old, and then a lifeguard jumps in to save it. It's gnarly. But no, I was not aware of this at all. So as you were explaining it, I think it was Blake who said, I think it's a fake baby.
So you might have the same emails I have. I have one from a school administrator, and then I have one with the point of POV of the student.
Ooh.
A 24-year-old who's recently gone through this. So which one do you...
You just go forth, and I'll fill in the gaps.
You want to do school administrator first?
Sure.
Because it's DF James. He's the principal of Baird High School.
Very nice facilities. Good people.
And he thanks Blake for the positive feedback. The babies are part of an assignment for students who take child development as a part of their career pathway. The baby is designed to cry, coo, and require feeding, rocking, and changing at different times during the day and night. Students keep the baby for a week or two. When it's returned, the device provides data that gives the teacher a grade based on how well it was cared for. Taking the baby to the gym is an interesting gamble. I'd be curious to see the final grade on that one. If the baby is crying while she has her AirPods in, she doesn't get to it in a few minutes, she will fail the assignment. This is not a required course for all students, although it should be. Students can even opt out of the assignment and complete a written assignment instead. If schools had more local control over what they could offer and teach, we could require more life skills classes such as learning about credit, interest rates, the stock market, changing a tire, hooking up a washer and dryer, and other practical skills, rather than some of the courses currently mandated by the state. If you'd like, I'll be your go-to expert on anything education-related when it comes to schools and learning. That's James.
Go-to.
So,
yeah, that's wild to me. This entire...
Yeah, that this has developed over
feels
the years.
very like home ec from the 1960s or 70s.
But the tracker on it is interesting to me. Just because, I've asked my girls, well, how do you... Because they'll have open book tests. But they have, a tracker on the... they have a thing which is making sure the camera can see you there. You can't do one of these test things and walk away from your computer. Type thing. You have to be in front of your computer. It's a... I don't know. They got AI, bro. Anyway, hola, Uncle Dental Dan. Dental Dan. I am currently 24. I had to do what my high school called the parenthood simulation during my sophomore year. This is for home economics class. You're graded on how well you take care of your child. The simulation tracks your response time whenever the baby cried, how long it took to figure out what it needed, whether it was a feeding, a diaper change, a burping, or just crying for attention. You also got graded on not abusing your doll. It tracked if it was ever shaken, dropped, thrown, or neglected. The baby could even die if it was abused or neglected too much. When it was your turn to do the project, the baby would turn on right after school ended on Friday and turn off the following Monday morning. You weren't allowed to use a babysitter. This is enforced by an RFID tracker attached to your wrist via a special zip tie that had the teacher's signature on it. Every time the baby cried, you had to scan your wristband so the doll knew it was you responding.
Jeez.
If you cut the wristband off, it was an automatic failure. If you had pre-scheduled plans that weekend, good luck. When I had the baby, I already had tickets to the Fort Worth Gun Show.
Damn. Hate to miss that.
I
It's the
still
biggest in
went.
Texas.
I still went, but I didn't want to be seen walking around with a gay-looking baby doll, so I stuffed it in a backpack and carried it around. My friends had other ideas. They threw their babies in the closet for the whole weekend, which resulted in their dolls dying. If your baby died, you had to have a talk with the school counselor and repeat the project another weekend. Never punt your child. That's from Jack.
Good email.
Man, yeah, there's a lot. I got one from a guy. Apparently, this is something that was mini viral, maybe about 10 years ago or so. But some researchers in Australia did this program where, let me see if I can pull the official study up. They did it with low and middle income students, and they found that it worked the opposite, and that all the girls loved the attention that they got from having a baby, and they were 36% more likely to get pregnant.
So
after
the
they
idea
checked
was
back in with them a few years later.
the idea was this is so hard you should not have sex.
Yeah.
But it actually made more of them get pregnant.
Yeah, the group that had the baby, more of them ended up getting pregnant, 36% more, because people were like, "Oh, it's so cute." And they love nothing more than attention at that age.
Wonder how that affected the dudes.
Well, see, I wanted to hear from, like, what do they have a analogous type assignment for? I mean, is this all?
Dudes can have kids.
That was from a dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they gave one male, female, no matter what.
Well, that's this guy's particular school in that particular home ec class. As the first guy said, this is not mandated or anything. So
Yeah. Well, it's not really a have a baby program, because you don't have to fight off the urge to sell it at all times like you do in real life.
Yeah.
You always know.
All right. How you feeling about today's show so far, Blake?
Pretty solid.
Nice.
The Dumb Zone.
I got this email literally this morning from Anson, who wanted to shout out Travis and his team at Community Mechanical. So anyway, he had another HVAC company. And he said there was a part that needed fixed, but the labor would be $4,000. And turned off my heater and gas for safety reasons, and then said it'll be 2 weeks for them to replace it.
Sweet.
So he said he was already planning on calling CommMech. And then he says in parentheses, I've shortened community mechanical.
Yes,
anyway,
he has. We'll let him own that one.
For an alternate quote, but also to see if they might have a better response time. Now he says, everything I've heard about this company on your podcast is true. I called the office, left a voicemail, had a return call within 5 minutes. Explained the situation. The lady I spoke to gave me emails for both Drew and Travis, asked I explain it to them. I sent all the info, including photos of my equipment. I put in the subject line that I'm a Dumb Zone listener that needs help. They call me 9 minutes later. They gave a ballpark estimate over the phone. It was a quarter of the price the other company quoted me. They sent one of their technicians to the supply store a couple hours later to get the parts. They have the parts in hand. They were at my house 8:30 a.m. the next morning to complete the work. And really, he goes on, there's a lot longer thing where they also discovered like a gas leak that was in his, because his wife had smelled. Anyway, he says they're the real deal. They have a customer for life. You have my permission to use my name, all that kind of stuff. But we've gotten tons of these, though.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Just to know that people are, they're saving people from the cold, from getting ripped off. And they're our boys.
Yeah,
I'm proud of
it's communitydfw.com and the number that you can call or text, and they'll return your text 469-667-7290.
Hi, Rick Renner for Flooring Direct. Back in my TV days, I used to think negative publicity was better than no publicity at all. That's not the case at Flooring Direct. We thrive on reviews. A 4.7 Google star rating, top of Home Advisor and Best Picks. I won 13 of these babies in TV, but there's nothing comparing to the Super Service Award on Angie's List for 2 decades running and still champion. Get your free estimate today.
Quality Roofing, we've got drones.
Boy, they do. And they're going to take those drones, fly them up top, and get a good look at that roof and inspect it.
They will. I never knew that until you told me last week.
The whole lead up.
I was last week years old when you told me that Qualis Roofing has drones. But yes, apparently the insurance companies recommend you get your roof inspected twice a year. I think that's a little ridiculous. Let's at least make it once, though.
But the drone makes sense now, though. Because you don't, I mean, if you're going to be going up there, once, twice a year?
Yeah.
You're going to need a drone for that.
QualisGC.com. They're great. They're great with listeners of our show. We've had, tons of people just come up to us and tell us how awesome the experience was with Qualis. I don't have to have anybody to tell me how awesome my experience was. They put a new roof on my house. I wasn't sure if I needed one. I knew that we haven't had a new roof in over a decade. And they went up there, inspected it, and they're like, yeah, you got a lot of hail damage here, man. So we'll take care of it. They took care of everything. They dealt with the insurance company for us. I didn't have to do all the calls on that end, and all we paid is the deductible. So Qualis Roofing. Go to QualisGC.com. Do they have a number?
They do. The phone number is 817-500-9008. And all of those are interesting copy points. But there's one final one.
That's where he was leading you guys in it.
It doesn't matter.
Qualis Roofing, we've got drones.
I just got rear-ended. Should I call the insurance company?
It's always best to talk to us before dealing with the insurance company.
Okay, but I don't think I can afford a lawyer.
Don't worry. You don't pay us anything up front. No hidden fees, no surprises.
Oh, thank you. I feel so overwhelmed right now.
Before you call the insurance company, call Frankel first. Frankel and Frankel. Call 214 or 817, all threes.
Let's get real. There's been a stigma around low testosterone and erectile dysfunction. At game day, we say any guy who walks in the door, comes in, and we shake his hand, come on in. There's no shame in your game. You know, we're going to treat you just like a brother. We're going to make you feel comfortable, and we're going to get you in and out of there as fast as you want. And if you think about it, half of guys are going to struggle with these issues, whether it's ED, low T, over 1 in 4 guys are going to struggle with low testosterone at some point. It's time to just make this stuff normal, right? And at game day, that's what we do.
Trident Access Services, I had garage door bad, but after just one email wrote, could I call your dad? Had a brand new door put in just a single day. Trident Access Services, holy crap, hooray.
Give up.
Door was sad and sucky, flaccid at its best. But Jeremy and the fellas said, just put your fear to rest. If you need some help like me, just call the boys today. Trident Access Services, holy crap, hooray.
Yeah, the website is txtrident.com. Hit up Jeremy at 817-512-1212. And we learned through Grady that if you're a listener, you get 10% off.
Oh no, it's Mom, you're caught. It's This Week in Bad Beats.
Looks like a young man at the start of his journey, always a time of scarce material, but he's on to something now, Dan.
It's a library find, a breast exam video that his mom checked out.
That's rough, but this segment isn't called Good Beats. And with the house to himself this weekend, he's on to the living room with Leon Lett levels of confidence.
And boom, pants down, and with urgency. This man is doing a lot more than looking for tumors.
The exam is nearly complete, and we've got trouble. I can tell right away, Dan, that is an uncle.
He forgot he borrowed a couple of kegs from his mom's brother, and now the uncle is about to find out where all the porno mags from his shed have been disappearing to.
Thanksgiving about to be ruined forever now. Oh my, the beater's stunned.
The uncle quietly wondering if this is a violation of his parole.
And a story I'm sure everyone in the family will be cool about and no one will be scarred, Dan.
Do we ever find out about mom's breast?
Next time on Bad Beats. Contact down. Kill my camera for like 1 second, or you could just talk for 1 second and I'll listen while I do this.
Make him big.
If you take your just focus on Jake. If you take your contact out, do you ever pop it in your mouth to rinse it off?
Of course, I'm about to do it right now.
That's a thing?
I've done it before on the ball field because, it's all dirty, and I figured, I guess, dirt from the...
It's been bothering me all morning because I'm having to put it in with my offhand.
Saliva does a lot to clean stuff up. It's good.
I saw a guy do it with a glass eye once.
Human or canine?
Human.
Yeah, glass eye?
Yeah. It's awesome.
That's the best my eyes felt all day.
No puppet.
But my life, what was it for? What was I supposed to learn?
That Fairlease has a new approach to car leasing. Cuts out the hassles and puts the customer first.
What?
They're flexible and focused on you. Fairlease when you don't know what to do about a car. 'Cause car stuff is hard.
The Dumb Zone.
And the Olympics creative director, Hiroshi Sasaki, he quit in March.
Well, if this one's after the other one.
After he referred to a popular comedian, Naomi Watanabe. She's also a plus-size fashion designer. He referred to her as Olympic.
There's no fat on that joke. That's perfect.
It's 2:30. All right, I gotta go.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
Oh man, I left my Ridge wallet in the car. I wanted to show it to you because I got a Ridge wallet to match my Browns shoes.
Nice.
I got an orange Ridge wallet. You got one?
I just went with the black one. It's nice.
Simple, strong, powerful. Much like Blake himself.
I shot mine with a bunch of bullets like I was Kid Rock, and it was still...
Did you hit the wallet or did you miss like he did?
Either way, the Ridge wallet was in good shape. Listeners, Dumb Zone listeners, 10% off by using the promo code DUMBZONE at checkout. That's ridge.com. Use promo code DUMBZONE. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about it. Tell them on the Dumb Zone. It's the Ridge 2.0. It's a badass wallet. They got money clips.
Well, what was one of the emails was telling us about
RFID?
Whoa.
You're not going to track me.
RFID, yeah. So that's how they can make sure that they got that little fake baby and they don't throw it away and stuff. But the Ridge wallet, RFID blocking technology. So if somebody's trying to track, steal your cards, information, whatever.
Magnets.
They can't do it. Keeping you safe from digital pickpocketers. Are they trying to sell you digital chiclets and stuff? You ever go to Mexico and all the little kids are trying to sell you a little something, but then
hey, look, it's the digital bucket boys knocking there. Anyways, Ridge.
Ridge.com dumbzone. I have a follow-up email that I forgot to bring up. Here, I'm going to toss this to you because that was in the snail mail that came to my house.
Okay.
My literal home.
Very nice envelope here. It's
my castle.
C and G's.
There's a doctrine about my house.
Appears to be a wedding invitation.
So, dear Dan, Jake, Dan, and Blake, day 10, number 3636 here. This is gay as we have never met. But me and my soon-to-be first wife agreed that you should get our last wedding invite. I listen daily. I hate Wednesday. My fiance Courtney constantly hears the phrase, "You got to hear what the boys are talking about." Oh, also she loves sending you topless photos for both of our birthdays in exchange for 30 seconds of pod time.
Oh, sweet.
There's probably jokes in there. Right?
I'm confident this wedding is more than 100 miles from the 9/11 memorial, and Blake would never consider the flight, but consider this a thanks for the countless hours of never punt. Keep chasing that money. Even less Mavs from your Houston DFs, Graham and Courtney. P.S. I also invited Charlotte Jones.
Okay.
Jake, here's your
Sweetening
chance.
the pod.
If she shows up, I will have to say sorry to Courtney, and I'll knife Jake for her hand. And then now in different handwriting down here with a red pen, it says PPS. If I'm not still the center of the wall, we can upgrade the photo. I take this seriously. Also, Dan's wife is always right. That's apparently from Courtney.
No, I think you've been moved, Courtney.
Blake is asking for more pictures of Courtney.
Destination wedding, huh? That's the thing.
Well, no, they live in Houston. They're getting married in Houston.
Are you sure?
I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the...
I thought he's saying we just wouldn't travel to Houston.
No, this wedding is in Punta Cana or in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, damn. They're asking us to go there?
Yeah. The flights are listed here.
Okay, so that's a built-in excuse for us not to go.
Benji?
Dude, if it was in Houston, I'd be there.
Totally.
How funny would it be if we just showed up in the Dominican Republic?
Why not? We do a show.
Sandals on.
Do a week of shows. Can we get a sponsor?
Well, congrats to you two crazy kids, and thanks for the topless photos of your wife.
Yeah. Much appreciated.
I don't know.
So do you know the show Sherry?
No.
You never see it? Oh, do you guys use the tiny bathroom or the big one here at Fox 4?
It depends on my mood.
I use the big changing room bathroom.
I'll go small one.
Okay.
Small bathroom.
But in the changing room bathroom...
We kind of know that's your bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go to that when you're here.
That's what we're all trying to say.
So this is the Game Day Men's Health Studios, downtown Dallas, the Fox 4 building. And in the bathroom that I go into, the bigger one, there's one room you walk into, and there's a giant mirror, and there's like a makeup chair. Because apparently back in the old days, when they were smoking on set and doing cocaine between breaks.
Congratulating your female coworkers.
With a nice open hand slap on the bottom.
Right.
The way God intended us to congratulate the fairer sex. I would imagine they actually had people applying makeup to the anchor, like they had a makeup lady and all this kind of stuff. Nowadays, from what I understand, at least from Ducey, it's pretty much a do-it-yourself.
Yeah.
A little DIY in there. But they still have the big room, the big giant light bulbs around the mirror, you know? That looks cool. And they have a little TV there. I thought ostensibly it's to watch. Well, I guess it's to watch whatever's on Fox 4 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, yeah, if you're in break from your news, you know when it's coming back, all that. Well, anyway, they have this show called Sherry, which is a black lady.
Okay.
She's very funny. She was on 30 Rock. She was
oh, I know this
Tracy
lady.
Morgan's wife on 30 Rock.
Sherry Shepherd.
Yeah, she was on The View.
Oh, she was? So now she has her own talk show, but I need to DVR this starting tonight because when I was in there, I think their talk show, it must start at 1 o'clock. She's doing a monologue to start the show.
Okay.
She had some thoughts on Travis Kelce and
That's not
NFL
but
comedy.
that's, she's replacing Wendy. And Wendy used to do that.
Wendy Williams?
Yeah, Wendy Williams would go out there for 10 minutes at the start of her show. And again, much like with us doing Fallon the other night, it would feel like you were on drugs because it was like time was frozen. She would say a line. The crowd didn't really know how to react. Was it a joke? I don't know. Was it? She just talks. Wendy would do that.
Wendy was more of a freestyle, yes. I remember that.
Talk show host or like a morning DJ
but
type.
This seemed to be a pre-written monologue, and she's looking at cards.
That sounds incredible.
And should we ever consider starting our show with just a monologue?
I really like the dance hall.
What if Blake gets 5 minutes just to start the show, riffing on today's headlines? All right, everybody, thanks. And then we
pass it off. Oh, it's pre-theme, yeah.
Would you do that?
Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
Blake
pre-theme.
Jones.
Or yeah, does the theme? Think about it, guys.
God, imagine going to Sherry. Like,
what do you mean?
Physically going. Imagine going to the. crowd.
Like I want to be in that studio audience.
The women who are. Well, someone loves them.
Here's Jake with the
Today's
Dumb
news
Zone.
brought to us by Community Mechanical.
Community Mechanical.
Keep going.
That's as far as I got. But.
Oh, okay. Community Mechanical. You know them. You love them, folks. They are our HVAC company. It used to be a field. They weren't even a company when we started doing this podcast. Travis was a big listener. They came in for a sit-in, and he was like, you know what? Once we get this company up and flying, we want to advertise on the Dumb Zone. They have done so. They kind of dedicate themselves to real high-level customer service because, you ever been with a big HVAC company and maybe during the freeze, and then you call them, and they're like, we got shit going on. We don't have time for you.
Not the boys at Community.
Yeah, Community, they're great. So they will deal with you, especially if you're a Dumb Zone listener. You can call them or text them at any time. We wanted to challenge that. Try it in the middle of the night. 469-667-7290. And it's communitydfw.com. Brandon Aubrey's place. It could be your place. Preventive maintenance, that's their big deal. Sign up for some PM.
Going to start with a couple bits of plane news here. United Airlines has quietly added a new policy to their contract of carriage document. And ostensibly what this covers is plug your dang headphones in.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a small addendum buried in here that their right to remove you now covers passengers who fail to use headphones while listening to audio or video content.
Boy, is there something we could put on them so that I can't hear their side of the conversation on the phone?
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, we're eliminating the other person's side for those who want to hold the phone in front of them and talk out loud on a speaker.
This is kind of like your thing of wondering what all your friends are doing at the exact moment, but maybe this is just the benefits of if you go to the grocery store or Costco or something after you've hit the early bird. Maybe it's also just the benefit of not being like a angry, hateful person anymore. But when I hear half a phone conversation, I find myself running wild with imagination on what that person's life is like. Like I kind of fill in the other side of it a little bit and You know, because here's the
So
thing.
you're saying lean into it, have fun, don't just sit there getting mad.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
The people who are on the phone at the grocery store, very rarely are they chill about it. They have a sense of urgency applied to what often appear to be very low stakes conversation. And I told her we were going to be there at 7. Like, it's never the national security type issues. It's, I don't know, but that's one. Another plane story. I've always wondered about this. So private flight is very popular in the state of Texas. There's a lot of small little airports. And there is a Houston-based charter plane company, Starflight Aviation. The FAA has accused them of falsifying their pilot training records for at least 10 pilots. And I say this because I don't know that it's quite, hey, there's going to be 2.3 million new prostitutes here because of the Super Bowl, or hey, the Olympics is going to bring $1.4 trillion in economic development. It's not quite that. But when I would hear the pilot training thing of 12,400, I'm like, no, there's no way you did all of it. There's no way you did all those hours.
The hour? Okay.
Just don't buy it.
So they were falsifying that?
Yes. Apparently quite egregiously.
They had to have been getting complaints or something.
Yeah, I think it's that they started getting complaints from, they say possibly a mechanic or a pilot involved in the operation that just in general noticed that it was like a cutting corners type operation. Like they were running on a shoestring. So then they called and they checked and they were not, because it costs money to train people. Mm-hmm. So they just weren't doing it.
They're like, you're fine. You're good.
I've seen you up there at least 2 or 3
and here
times.
You are alive.
No crashes.
I wonder, yeah, we could talk to Brandon's wife about that. She's a pilot, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you actually have to have 20,000 miles logged?
I bet you there's a lot of shaving.
I know this is a different
cutting corners.
This is a different kind of training, but I overheard some of my wife's training, and I don't miss the corporate. What are you supposed to do in this situation? Here's an active shooter in the building. Here's the employee you shouldn't trust. You should take a walk. Just such a waste of time.
Probably the best Gillian Keefe sketch. It's got McCusker in it, and if you start clicking the wrong answers on the training video, it like unlocks a different world. He's like, keep fucking going.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Grab her. Grab another drink. Speaking of grabber, yesterday was a big day for politics. As Tuesday was voting day, we got all the results, and from a Texas standpoint, Mark Teixeira has secured the GOP bid. So this is the 21st congressional district. He will head to the general in November. So he is a Trump-endorsed politician now for the state of Texas.
Douche.
Yeah.
Not even from Texas, doesn't live in Texas. Well, I guess he probably lives in Texas now for this. But just yet another person that's going to come in here and just muddy up my state.
Yep.
Yankee. A literal Yankee has come into the state. You want me to start cheering for this guy? He wanted out. I didn't want out. I came here and I stayed.
Quick as you could. Another Texas,
unfortunate that he's still married too. Unfortunate.
Another Texas politics story. Not headed to the general. Appears to be Vince Shlomi.
What?
He was running in Congress's 31st congressional district against a longtime incumbent down there. Vince Shlomi is suing.
Is that the tell him or?
He's suing the Texas Republican Party because he says the reason that he finished 5th out of 10 candidates is because he was listed as Vince Shlomi and not Vince the ShamWow guy Shlomi.
That's who. Okay, yeah.
That's real?
It's very real. You know, guys, don't remember we played his hit new song, Woke Busters, which I guess I don't know if we're allowed to play here because it's on YouTube and
it's a Ghostbusters.
It 100%
parody?
uses the Ray Parker Jr. theme, but it's him walking around dressed like a lady going, Woke Buster.
We can end the show with it. It won't be on the
insane,
YouTube show.
dude.
I mean,
But it
did you
didn't
put it
work.
in there?
I didn't do it today. I did moons ago. He says it's a rigged election by these rhinos. That's, of course, Republicans in name only.
There's always someone to blame.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just got the YouTube link.
Woke Busters.
That's good.
This is a very small story, but it's one that tickled me. There's a bar over in Fort Worth that was hit up by a joint operation from Fort Worth PD, Department of Homeland Security. It is called Masquerade Cabaret. It's over West Camp Bowie, west side of town. And it received a certificate back in October, a certificate of occupancy to operate as a bar. But then in a letter sent last month, City of Fort Worth accused the club's owners of allowing employees to work, quote, in a state of nudity.
A place called Masquerade Cabaret?
Correct. So the owners were told their employees would have to be sufficiently clothed for the establishment to remain open. And, okay, so this is why I find this funny. I know that you have to have zoning, and I know that you have to have different types of rules for different types of businesses, but it's very funny to me that there's just a level of titty that can be exposed based on what this piece of paper says. Like,
and it says sufficiently.
Sufficiently. Hey, whoa. Like you go to a Twin Peaks, you go to a whatever.
Yeah.
Concrete Cowboy is a popular one, I think, in Grapevine. They're wearing barely nothing. It's barely anything. But then you go to this place, and they're like, lower it a little more. And they're like, no, whoa, this feels like a strip club now. Just the sort of things that the government adjudicates. I'm not saying there's no reason for it. I'm sure there is. But it's, to send in the cops and be like, how much of that nipple is covered? This is not a sex place. This is a bar place. Ooh, yeah. Do you guys know that Tucker Carlson is in the nicotine game?
Explain.
Yeah.
He has
it's
his own.
Not good.
Is it not? I mean, I know it's no Lucy. But come
His
for
own
the king.
pouches?
Yeah.
They're made in India.
Called what?
Alps.
Alp. Well, he got jacked. Millions and millions of dollars of his pouches were hijacked in a cross-country shipment.
That's probably a write-off.
Ooh.
Business
It's an insurance claim.
I was going to say, that's the tired claim. Wired is when you, is that what you meant? Like you staged your own?
Oh, I didn't, but that's great.
I like that.
Yeah. That's gets you out of that bad investment.
Speaking of bad investment, two former Houston Rockets players, one of them a former Mavericks player, Chandler Parsons and Courtney Lee. I mentioned them as Rockets because it stems from their time with Houston. A former financial advisor was indicted yesterday for defrauding them out of about $5 million.
Was it Sean Kernan?
Don't think so.
Good.
I don't think he would ever do that. Chandler Parsons, folks.
Who defrauded the Mavs out of quite a bit of money.
Do you remember how his story got even crazier?
I was just going to say,
you don't want to say defraud, but you could.
Whenever Brandon was hit with the tender, wasn't he a restricted free agent?
Yeah.
How the Mavs got him?
Yeah. Cuban signed him in a nightclub, the poison pill, trade kicker, but that's when he signed here. When he left here was when Cuban and I guess Casey said we're not okay with the medical. And he had 2 offers, one from Portland and one from Memphis, both at 4 for $94, which was an insane number at the time. He got in a car accident, but when he got in that car accident, he could not play anymore. He wasn't healthy. He wasn't explosive enough. But then he sued, and I'm pretty sure got made whole on the entire deal as if he was out there fulfilling that contract for 23 and 12 at a 38% clip. He would have never. He would have had to retire, you know?
Yeah. He's like the guy with the jump to conclusions, Matt.
Worked out.
Got into a nice accident.
Yeah, I don't have bilk me money. And I don't think I ever will. I think that's like a good number to stay below.
Don't you think, though, if you lived in a world where if someone bilked you out of $5 million and you were like, wow, that's annoying. Like your life, Chandler Parsons' life is not changed at all.
No,
except he might have to go to court.
And I think that worrying about that would be like if you said, and I don't know the numbers, but if you were like, hey, your net worth is $50 million and it means people are bothering you all the time, you're having to worry about losing half a million, or you get 20 million and you never have to worry about it. I think it would still piss you off. Don't you think? Like, even if it's not materially affecting you, knowing that everybody around you, you're like, oh, is this guy trying to fuck me?
Oh, yeah, it would
I feel
piss
like that
you
would drive
off,
me
but in
crazy.
the end, it wouldn't mean anything.
So I wonder if that's how you find peace if you're like a super wealthy person, is you just like in normal life, you have to accept there's going to be some things here I can't control. I'm going to get ripped off some.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be part of it.
Like
because otherwise, I think it would drive you crazy. Like everybody you talk to, don't you think you'd be thinking?
Like if you're in the music industry, you're definitely.
Oh my God.
But anyone, all these young guys that come into all this money probably all get bilked in some way.
Well,
except LeBron, who did it right.
I don't.
No, I'm just joking.
I don't know. No. I know.
Probably somebody, somewhere skimmed some off the top of the LeBron empire that shouldn't have. Because he'll never notice. You just got to keep it within that limit.
Does his dad get a check?
His actual dad?
Yeah. Like, does LeBron send him a?
I've never really heard anything about his actual dad. Is he alive?
That's what I don't. I know that he wasn't around early.
I know Shaq's actual dad is alive, and then I think he wanted nothing to do with him.
Because it was his stepdad who was the military guy, right?
That's who he considers his biological dad. He doesn't. Which is odd because it does seem like Shaq is very free with his money with everyone else.
That's tough. That's tough. All right, there's your news.
I will turn over here. And we'll do this.
The Dumb Zone News.
Was Chandler Parsons ever
and
good?
Subscribe.
Yeah, dude. That was a good news. I don't want to.
Get out of the road.
Jake's kind of he'll suck off Chandler Parsons anytime you give him the opportunity to. I know.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
It's ridiculous. Trying to get this guy.
Dude, look, it worked with Harden.
Viewer mail birthdays today, sponsored by Factor Meals.
Oh, hell yeah. Factor Meals. If you're trying to cut out that grocery store trip, you're trying to cut out that, let's debate what we're going to have for dinner this week, tonight. Factor makes it super easy. They're delivering those meals right to your doorstep. Pop in the microwave for a couple minutes and you're good to go. Factor's a regular part of our mix. And they got me eating stuff I never ate before. They got vegetables that you know me, I'm a child. I don't like vegetables. Factor got me eating vegetables. And they'll have you paying less than full price at factormeals.com/dumbzone50 off. It's dumbzone50 off. Get you 50% off and free brekkie for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subbies only, varies by plan. One you know what? Whatever. Okay, one free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active. They know we love them.
They really do.
No legal ramifications to meals. There's no meals in exchange commission.
We got more fake baby email that rolled in during today's show.
I know, that was throwing me off during the segment. I was trying to read
I didn't look at any emails. Okay. I have Uncle Hotmail. Business Wednesday was my daughter's DeMarvion Overshone / Rowdy birthday.
Congrats.
She is a member of the Beehive.
Oh, nice.
And is proud of Jake's bravery. Please have Jake rate her name. Gianna Rose.
You don't want to know.
Never punt on the plus side of the field. That's from DF Mario in Puff, Pflugerville.
It's a hot name. It's a hot name. What are you doing though? What are you doing with Rose? Like you know that's gonna make whatever first name you give sound like she's gonna end up with a leg tattoo.
Or is gonna have a government official look at her and say, "I don't think you're sufficiently dressed."
Hey, Dan, I'd like to wish my friend Bill a happy birthday. His leader is Dan crop dusting the olds at the polling center while doing his civic duty. More Blake, more Soroy, less Sven.
Aw.
From Jeff. Dear Crash Davis of the Gash and Anus. I'd like to wish a happy birthday to my best friend and business partner, 11 Kids Danny. His actual birthday is March 4th. Gummy thought to add to the conversation about whether listening to an audiobook counts as an actual reading a book. If an author uses dictation software like Dragon or ChatGPT to generate the initial text and the editor simply corrects or polishes the final wording, did the author really write the book? And if the same author narrates the audiobook, isn't that arguably the closest thing you could get to hearing their stream of consciousness as they originally composed it? Oh, then he has some anchored phrases. Boy, he's got a lot here. Why not? Scantily.
Clad.
Layman's.
Terms.
Topsy.
Turvy.
I like that one.
Our leaders are Jake's explanation to a Southlake soccer mom as to why ChatGPT cut back on their child's playing time. Pond Guy and Run the Ball Blake. And finally, this is from Ryan, by the way. He's the iButler.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ryan at iButler.com. We love Ryan, folks. He sat in once upon a time. He says, we might certainly be biased, but Blake or anyone else wearing yellow blue light lenses is not why Hillary lost.
Yeah.
Yellow blue light filtering lenses have been around since the 1980s, began being marketed to gamers around 2008. When companies started sponsoring sports, esports events following a major shift. Anyway, he says, you're good. You good.
Thanks, Ryan.
That's Ryan Rogers.
They feel like those sort of deals that you put around your waist when you're going to be lifting. But it's like, why don't you just like have a strong back?
Well, they started in shooting.
Did they?
Yeah, like skeet shooting and stuff like that.
That's somewhat of a cover. Guns.
Game Day Men's Health presents On This Day in History.
Like, should we do a bit, kind of like your social media meme tailing, where Dan just has to listen to the show, like the McDonald's guy eating a Big Mac or whatever, and he has to pretend like he likes it. Have you seen the video of the McDonald's CEO trying to eat their burger?
No. He hates it?
It doesn't look like he loves it. Well, I'll just put it to you like this. I don't think he's a guy who eats a lot of McDonald's.
So I was talking to my daughter.
He looks like Ken from Ken and Barbie, and he's like, this is delicious mouthfeel.
I was talking to my daughter who is into nutrition. That's what her line of study is. And just about the NHL players eating fast food at the White House. And the Clemson players, and just because she was talking about what they eat there. And it's like they don't eat any fast food, the Clemson team.
Yeah, I bet. It's
Now, you guys are probably
machines.
right. They probably did like it because they are pretty regimented. But I would think the Clemson team didn't like it because it's like, well, this is what college kids eat a lot of. If they're on their own, they certainly will do that. But now you're going to the White House. It's like if your boss or somebody's going to take you out to dinner, do you want that to be fast food or would you want that to be a steak? Or, some nice seafood, just a nice expensive meal.
Yeah.
Like it's the White House. It's the big,
know,
this
but-
is great. Do you want to sleep on a cot?
I know, but I feel like you got to acclimate. Like if Trump invited you to the White House, aren't you eating a McDouble?
You're going to eat whatever
When in
they
Rome,
throw
yeah.
in front
That's what
of
I'm
you.
saying. Like,
But Trump is not. Well, he might be eating it. Actually, him and Jerry are probably salting their
That's yeah.
McGriddles. Anyway, Game Day Men's Health. 12 area locations. GameDay.dumbzone.com.
Get you feeling good.
Stop into one of those area locations and mention the Dumb Zone. They will give you 10% off your testosterone replacement therapy for life. For life.
Get on the fat shot. They have it.
Oh, the peptides, the fat shots. What was Matt Grimm? Oh, I think it's the peptides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does.
He's been doing the
peptide for-
peptide shots. He said now for a couple of months, and that he's never felt better. He's like in his 50s, and well, he's able to drive from Phoenix to Dallas with merely a 15-minute nap.
What more do you need to know, folks? GameDay.dumbzone.com starts with a testosterone test, but there's a lot they can help you with.
Help you look like Jake.
Cheat at life.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake eats like donuts and ice cream and stuff. Hey, you never told us about Christy Nome. You were saying during the break. What's the deal?
I actually just overheard it in the hallways up here.
Okay.
I'm serious. There was a news buzz. I don't know. I think
Is that what Steve Eager's doing on the nightly news? He's like, I just kind of heard that, but I'm not going to mention it on the news. Just did the news.
I don't give a poop
is that
about Christy Nome. I don't even find her attractive. That's the only reason I would be interested in the story.
Is that a movie thing? A newsroom where people are just running everywhere? Papers are flying?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Here at the ticket, wherever, I've run down the hall to get... Hell, I ran to get my sandwich back.
Well, I know, but just like, if Christy Nome is fired, is the newsroom in there just like panicking? Oh my God, what are we going to do?
Ooh, I was
Throw
thinking...
out the rundown.
There was a good tie-in, a good parallel between us and the morning show on Apple TV.
As there will be, yeah.
I was trying to think about what it was. Oh! Because, so in the newest season of the morning show...
Jennifer Aniston learns to write stuff off.
No. So it's kind of the new network, it's looking at network TV, but in its current form. And one of the things that bothers Jennifer Aniston and some others around there is the amount of power that the podcast has. There's this guy now that does a podcast, but he doesn't, he'll wear shorts. And I think that's the parallel of us as we walk through here.
Don't like it.
Just doing our own thing. Uh-huh. And their podcast is called The Bro Show. So it's speaking to men, it's bros.
A little manosphere.
Mm-hmm. And you don't like to think of yourself as a bro-centric podcast, but look at the numbers, don't lie.
They don't. We're in the sphere.
So we're The Bro Show.
Yeah.
And you in particular, I think, really fall in. You just look more like bro than I do.
I would want to punch me if I saw me. I've always thought that. Like, God, dude, you just...
And you've gotten better. Like, imagine... No, I'm saying, if you encountered 25-year-old Jake, don't you hate 25-year-old Jake more than 40-year-old Jake?
Even more.
This Christy Nome thing will bother me. If she's out...
Yeah.
Is she the one that they were having a thing and saying you spent all this money, but it's somebody you knew? Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Anyway, this will bother me because I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I work out with Christy Nome.
You got one that looks exactly like her?
Exactly like Christy Nome. She's always talking. She has like the Bluetooth thing. And she's always on a phone call. I have, I just want to tell you who we have at my gym. I have Stephen Jones, Kristi Noem, short Giannis, but he looks exactly like his shoulders are real back, kind of like Anthony Davis, kind of like, you know how he's got that very erect posture, but he looks exactly like Giannis. He's just about a foot shorter. It's not racist at all. I'm not racist.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
And
I'm not calling anybody racist.
So these are the names I say in my head. I don't want to know what they're saying in their head when I pass them. I'm like,
Probably just big dog.
Kristi Noem's here today. There's one guy in my head. He wears jeans to work out. And his face kind of looks like it's a little pretty skinny guy. He's Ernest. For you.
Okay. Yeah, no, everybody's got those. Kristi Noem, a very popular archetype over where we live.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The hat, the hair out the back, puffy lips.
Yeah, I don't know. She may be great. She may be terrible. I just don't find her attractive. I do think that there was a funny...
That's how you usually rank your...
Completely.
Yeah, okay.
There was a good chant whenever Minnesota was popping off that got stuck in my head. That made me proud for America doing chants. Here, pull this up, see if it'll play. You like the C word? We good on the C word?
In small doses.
It's to, I want to know. Don't you wish American sports had more of that?
Mm-hmm.
Like we see in Europe and whatnot?
I want to know why you're such a
We need to work on our rhyming.
What are they saying?
It's just the
Hey, Kristi Noem.
I want to know
why you're such a cunt. No, she made our news 6 months ago or so. She was gonna have that game show to earn a green card.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. What happened to that? They do a lot of stuff where they toss it out there and then we never really hear it again.
Like Baby Rocky.
No, like female ref at the Broncos game.
Yeah.
Hey.
Kim Kardashian.
Paid that off.
Today is Thursday, March 5th. So this is Today in History, brought to us by Game Day Men's Health. 1770, on this day, the Boston Massacre took place. British soldiers were taunted by a crowd of colonists. So they opened fire. Like, what? How about this?
They started it.
They killed 5 people. On this day in 1973, 2 New York Yankee left-handers, Fritz Peterson and Mike Kekich, they announced to the media that they have traded families, including wives, kids, and dogs.
Here it is.
It actually began behind the scenes the previous fall, but now the winter happened, off-season, and so one guy started tagging one guy's wife. And they were like, you know what? What if we just make this permanent?
Let's call the media.
They literally traded entire families. This is like the Baltimore Colts were once traded for the Los Angeles Rams. That's true. Did you know that? They once traded entire franchises.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
Where all the players had to move across the country.
I would like to know more about that.
Yeah. Yes. So Fritz Peterson ended up staying with his lady, having 4 more children.
Oh, that was the player to be named later.
Kekich, his relationship with Marilyn Peterson is short-lived. So it worked out for Fritz Peterson's. Like, he got it all.
Well, unless you want it out.
Or unless Mike Kekich is the real playing chess here.
Right. God, that's awesome.
On this day in 1982, John Belushi is working on a movie script with his friends. And they introduced him he liked drugs, right? Back in the day. They introduced him to, what if we take your cocaine and we mix it with heroin here? We call this a speedball. Which is one of those things, like the bald guy's name is Curly, because this speedball slowed down his breathing and finally caused complete respiratory failure, and he's dead. At the age of 33, John Belushi.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of it is fishing stories or whatever, fish tales, but the fact that he was able to work at all, and when you read the SNL book, is pretty insane.
The incredible amount of drugs he was doing?
Just, I don't know. I guess at some point the drugs are keeping you up and counterbalancing the other ones, but it's insane. And at 33.
That's the really impressive part. My gosh.
Yeah.
He was able to do so much by the age of 33.
Yeah.
On this day in 1998, NASA scientists said enough water was frozen in the loose soil of the moon to support a lunar base and perhaps one day a human colony. This is one of those things that ever since I was a little kid, they've been talking about. Do they not do it anymore? Do we not even talk about a base on the moon?
Didn't it come up recently?
Like Elon had a design for one.
Like this
How
year
about-
recently.
In all this time, how come there hasn't been one? Let's just build at least a tiny thing, a tiny house. Let's drop a tiny house in with a drone.
Yeah.
And just live there for a couple days. Let's just see it. Like they've lived in space stations for like a year.
How about a reality show?
How about something on the moon?
New Trump space policy sets 2028 deadline for moon base. Golden Dome prototype.
Deadline?
Golden Dome.
We put a deadline on this one?
Yeah.
Apparently, we just own the moon.
Nobody else is taking it.
We put our flag up there.
And today is March 5th, this day in Dumb Zone history.
This is a big day in our show history for Words with Dan. Back in 2021, you were doing Jake was out, Julie was filling in. And we got this Words with Dan.
Okay, well, I'm more referring to the transgender bathroom. Not transgender, the dual sex. I'm going to mess up another word, I'm sure. Is there a word for same-sex bath? Anybody?
Yeah.
Not same-sex. All-sex bath. Everybody bathroom.
I forgot that it ended with everybody bathroom.
It's an everybody bathroom.
Unisex, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Yes.
I've been hitting family bathrooms so hard lately. I mean, I got a kid with me, but I just never thought about it before.
Well, that's perfectly acceptable.
Like last night,
Having a kid with you.
or whenever it was, we had to go pick Kristen up from the airport, but we had to wait a long time. And so you just take both kids in there, and I just forget. You forget there's even a family airport at the bathroom at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
I was at Kohl's, and I had to. It was very temporary, but I had to abduct a kid to get into the family bathroom. And so,
Treat 'em well.
they're crying for a couple minutes, and the mom is. But it was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
you had to go.
I'm the bad guy in the end.
Yeah, I probably could use the family bathroom if I take Brooks, but I just don't want to tie it up in case someone wants it. But he's still in the age where he won't, like he has to pull his pants all the way down to use the urinal.
So go to the family.
I guess I should. He's just in there bare-assed. I feel like it's weird. One more. This is from the year 2024. We were having somebody on who pitched a product that got bought by Mark Cuban on Shark Tank. And this resulted in a pretty funny Words with Dan.
Yeah, so, but basically it's a thermometer, though, that you could put under the dog's leg. I guess the front is the leg. They're all legs, right? They don't have any arms. But if they had an arm, it would be the arm. The leg pit.
Yeah,
What do you call
we
it?
actually have four arm. We call them armpits. Why not?
There you go.
We don't have a word for it.
Okay. But yeah, you put it under there, and you could take the temperature, which seems a lot less intrusive than the bottom.
Front leg.
My dog seems to take the bottom temperature thing, just doesn't even blink.
Kind of presents it to you like, oh, no.
Yeah, kind of likes it.
Thanks, Blake.
Other birthdays today, Michael Irvin is 60.
The GOAT for me.
That's why your 88 is in your email, not Des?
It's true. Piano teachers and Nazis aside, who have both asked me about it.
Nazis like 88?
14, yeah.
What's that
1488. I don't know. I mean, it's What is it? 14 words for I don't know.
Paul Konerko is 50.
TC. 88 is the numerical code for Heil Hitler.
The numerical code?
Yeah, like 1488 was always presented as like this code for white supremacy. And then the keys, there are simply 88 of them. It's a less.
Oh, so piano teachers are like, oh, you love piano.
Swear to God, the lady who taught me was like, that's interesting. You big. I'm like, no, I'm learning.
No, I
you
love
think I staked out this email before I learned piano?
TC, Justin Fields is 27. Wasn't he their guy?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where things left with him.
Like last year or with the Bears?
Last year. I mean, we were excited for a minute, and then.
No, he stinks, right?
You know what's well, let's not have free agent talk now.
Yeah, Bad Radio Zone is out there.
Write down Malik Willis.
Oh, I was going to say write down Kyler.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I want to talk Kyler, but just the Malik Willis talk. Anyway, stay tuned for that. Yeah. We're going off.
That's after we do Dice Clay tomorrow.
That's too much for a free show. I gotta
Can's mom's first period.
I gotta pay Walmart.
Oh, damn, dude.
We got a pack show tomorrow.
I can't get to anything because Blake broke up with his homeless guy.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that today.
You absolutely should have done that today. That is the top news of the day. That and Christy Nome.
Yeah, that's going to suck them in for tomorrow.
Hey.
Bo Bichette is 28.
I was kind of hoping he'd be better.
His dad was a big fan of steroids, I think.
Was he? I thought he was just a Rocky.
Was that all it was? I guess I just assumed.
What if you did both?
Well, somebody did, right? Who was Caminetti never a Rocky?
Todd Helton?
Todd Helton.
Are you ready to tell me that Todd Helton? No, who left? Like he was on the Expos, then he went to the Rockies?
Not Mondesi, but we're on the same path. Larry Walker.
Larry Walker.
There you go.
Was he roidy?
Yeah, right? Man, I guess I probably am not the guy to ask. I was a kid, and once I learned that steroids were in baseball, I just assumed every guy. Because Larry Walker was fucking huge. Like, he didn't look like a baseball player anymore.
I'm going to call foul. I thought Bo Bichette was Craig Biggio Jr. My bad. Bo Bichette is actually awesome.
I was going to say, I thought he was in the group that did well.
Former players' kids on the Blue Jays.
I think he has 21 WAR already, if I'm remembering looking at it.
Eek.
Kyle Schwarber is 33.
Nice career.
Joe Exotic is 63.
Goddamn son of a bitch.
Fort Worth?
Currently, I think so, right?
Isn't he in some kind of prison?
Yeah. Medical prison.
Sorry.
That sounds better.
We could book him. He does live bookings from prison.
I would do that.
What are you doing just sitting there, Blake?
I'm looking up Joe Exotic
How
now.
come we don't have Joe Exotic on the show right now?
Alex Stein used to have a weekly with him.
No, I'm less interested.
You just want to do what Alex Stein does.
That's what I've always done.
Ricky Lindholm is 47. She's from Garfunkel and Oates.
Oh, cool.
She's the blonde. John Frusciante is 56.
Wow.
Frusciante, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Is he the one with the sock on his wiener?
That was all of them.
Then yes.
At some point or another. Yeah, this is him here. You just kind of...
Throw that in this month's Dropbox, will you? Because I couldn't find
when the
it this
heroin
morning. Singer Eddie Grant is 78.
You may know him from Electric Avenue, but Romancing the Stone, so many others. I'm romancing the stone.
Really? So you're saying he has a larger catalog?
I got really into him when you guys got really into him. on Why Today Doesn't Suck.
Huh. And Murray Head is 80. He sang a song called One Night in Bangkok.
Night in Bangkok in the world, yeah.
Which is literally what I did.
You've been to Bangkok?
For one night. We didn't even really stay the night.
Do you think it was a funny name of a city?
It's the wildest place I've ever been.
Why?
On one small drag of the city was like
the red light district
Bourbon
type thing?
Yes. Plus Bourbon Street, plus it was that is where you see like signs everywhere that are like ping pong show.
Could you have had a small
Lady
boy
show.
if you needed one?
Yeah, I think so.
What country are we talking about there?
I'm going to let you keep on taking cracks at it.
Not going to try?
Not even going to try. I mean, it's not Denmark.
Bangkok.
Dana's thinking, does it sound Asian-y? Do I
Oh,
start
it's
there?
absolutely
Sure,
Asian-y.
I'm sure you got.
All right.
I got that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
You're hot
there. You
there.
go. I'm fine. You good? You good? We're good. Penn Jillette is 71.
Libertarian.
Thailand.
You nailed it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes. Good job.
Hey, damn. Where was I? Penn Jillette. Jake Lloyd is 37. That is young Anakin Skywalker. I just figure someone else knows what that is. I've really never taken...
Keep going.
Joel Osteen is 63.
Hi. That's more Harry Carey, but he has Harry Carey delivery to me. He's got big teeth. Remember when he wouldn't let people come sleep at his mega church?
Remember when they found all that money in the
that story,
bathroom?
bro? That is one of the top 10. Wait, what? Local news stories I ever did in my career. Hey, they found a bunch of money in our walls. Don't matter. There was like $800,000 cash, like in the walls of the church, that some repair guy found. They're like, oh, never mind that.
Why did the repair guy tell anyone?
I don't remember. It was, and I think they might have rewarded him. This story was crazy. Like there's actual money in the walls at a church, and everyone's just, hey, don't.
And it was right around the time the Gemstones episode of them having money hidden in the wall.
In November of 2021, a plumber named Justin Cawley discovered over 500 envelopes containing cash and checks hidden inside a wall. You tell me that's just normal ass accounting? Like that's...
It's like a squirrel hiding its tides.
Dude. It's great.
Yeah, throw that song in there. Like,
I put it in Dumb Zone Breaks.
Oh,
I copied it.
That ain't helping me.
Well, I thought you liked copy because then it doesn't mess up your dating. Did it not go over? You keep talking.
Okay. Where was I? Penn Jillette, Jake Lloyd, Joel Osteen, Kevin Connolly is 52.
E, right? No, he's a different guy. Who's Kevin Connolly?
He's E.
Okay.
You're right. Ava Mendes is 52. And Dumb Zone birthday of the day, 40 years old today, Dominique McElligott. Search her up. Dominique McElligott. That's right. It's Queen Maeve on The Boys. The last trailer just released today for the new season. So we're all very excited.
One or the other. Star Trek, The Boys, or
Stranger Things,
1987,
Cleveland Indians.
I can't wait to hear the show when you guys are like, all right, I started watching it. My God.
Dude.
Can't stop. Binge
I have
it.
watched it.
Binge it. I'm not even talking to you.
Are we prepared to call The Boys a
greatest
COVID thing?
Oh, come on.
Come on. We all say it about Joe Exotic.
Mm-hmm.
The boys might have been a COVID thing. It's okay.
Born on this day, now dead, Andy Gibb.
The great. Not sure that I could tell you what he did v. Barry, but
Barry's awesome. Watch the Bee Gees documentary, and you'll really have a great appreciation for Barry Gibb.
One of the best documentaries I've ever seen.
Andy Gibb, though, I bet he just did lots of coke, tagged lots of chicks. That's all right. You're Andy Gibb. And Earl Woods died on this day as well. Dead on this day, still dead. You have Joseph Stalin. He is Joseph with an F.
Yeah.
And
I would say one of the best biographies I've ever read, but I haven't read that many of them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's going to be anybody who's got that kind of a story, but that was an interesting one.
Did lots of stuff?
Did lots of stuff. Yes.
And also dead on this day, still dead. Died on this day in 2016, Ray Tomlinson. Says here, the inventor of email.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
Hey, Ray,
on this day
I hope you get
in
locked out of your
history.
shit for forgetting to change your password and your two-factor authentication doesn't work and it costs you a lot of money and a job and peace. That's what I hope for you, Ray.
This Nigerian prince wants to talk to you.
Adios, mofo.
We gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.